Yo, I got mad freaking chapstick. Anywho's, what the hell is happening? Sorry, guys. I don't know what the hell's happening. Sue, tell you guys, man, we in here. Let me know if you guys can't hear me here for Knicks Weekly. Again, I'll be trying to do this throughout the week. When there's an off day, try to have at least once a week outside of the Thursday and the Tuesday night talks with Simeon Russell of NBK, just to sound off a few ideas, talk about some developments. Again, today, going to talk about this Julius Randle interview that he had with JJ Reddick and I can't remember, JJ Reddick and Tommy Alter. Going to talk about whether Thibs is a good coach, man. A lot of people are talking about Thibs is not a good coach. He's not playing certain guys and all of this stuff. And it's like, oh, you were winning more than last year. Certain players are playing better than they did last year. Definitely going to talk about, I think, one of the things I've seen so far that I can discernibly say has gotten better with the Knicks, and that's been a result of Tom Thibodeau's coaching. We're going to talk about, does Tom Thibodeau have a beef with R.J. Barrett? R.J. Barrett didn't play in that fourth quarter after going about he did play late, played very late in the fourth quarter, and the game was out of hand. Went 5 for 11, I believe, for 15 points, so something like that. But he was like 5 for 9 before he came out the game, and people were wondering, gosh, is there some beef with Tom Thibodeau and all this stuff? And I don't think so. We're going to get to it. I think, we'll get to it. Also going to talk about who's the next you're going to talk about who's the next sleeper on the offense to go through the so-called revolution metamorphosis under Tom Thibodeau. Obviously, we're seeing developments by R.J. Barrett. We've seen developments regarding Julius Randle's game. It's probably the most obvious, who's taken the biggest transformation under Tom Thibodeau. You've seen quickly perform. Obviously, he wasn't here last year. But, who's that next young player? And then we're going to talk about some prospect breakdowns. Definitely want to mention one prospect that I caught that I think might be an underrated prospect. Definitely could probably get in the second round, maybe even undrafted, but we'll see. And then we're going to talk about the Kuminga Green Watch after the G League game last night between the Ignite and the Westchester Knicks. Definitely interesting prospects, even if they don't come to Knicks. Even though I think Green could drop. He could drop. Just saying, he could drop. But let's go through this interview first. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Simmons Singh, salute. We're going to stop the Zach LaVine nonsense. He's not coming. I don't think he's coming. I'm watching him, by the way. Only down 4 to the Philadelphia 76ers, 24-20. Salute to Stephen Fox. Salute to Jermaine Royce. Yeah, yes, rest in peace to Marky D of the Fat Boys, man. Definitely a big loss in hip-hop, man. Salute to him and his family. Well, rest in peace to him, and salute to him and his family. Hinton Murphy, salute, man. Yeah, we're in here tonight, man. Simmons Singh, my guy. Bam, yo, salute. Yeah, we're in here, man. It said, look at it. Isaiah Todd on the Ignite. Is Isaiah Todd? He's a big center, right? The number 11, right? I like him a little bit. He's cool. You know who else I'm in? Well, at this point, I guess developmental. No, the number 7 guy, because he has a size, everything. It's just, I don't know. He intrigues me. I'm not saying he's good or anything, but I just think the size, his ability, there's not much ability. I mean, he just intrigues me as a prospect. But again, he's probably just more, measurables than anything else. But definitely that number 11 dude, the center. Yeah, he definitely can move well going to the basket. I also like the other guy. Remember when they played, what was it, the OKC Blue? The dude I was talking about from UCLA, and when I got locked up with Giangelo. I mean, he can't shoot, but as a big man who kind of move around the basket, I was thinking, the Knicks could probably look at him. Again, obviously, as you guys may have already known, the Westchester Knicks, I believe it was the Rockets, just picked up Patton. The big man was a Westchester Knicks, so I guess he's out of the running for the Knicks. But let's get to this interview, man. So I have some timestamps that I want to point out, and I'm going to let some people in. I just want to go through some of this stuff before, it gets out of hand. Actually, you know what? Let me just let it in. If anybody wants to come in, I might have to tell people to quiet it down as I go through this, but definitely want to go through this interview first and foremost. I thought it was a really good interview with Julius Randle and JJ Reddick and Tommy Alter. So I'm just going to skip ahead to certain parts because I have the timestamp. So at 1:59, Julius Randle talks about the team exceeding expectations, confidence, belief in the team. Let me just play. I've taken so many damn notes that it kind of defeats the purpose. Let me see if you guys can hear this. Let me know if you guys can't hear this.
Team has exceeded your own Would you say that the Knicks have your team has exceeded your own expectations, or did you see this turnaround season coming?
I would say we maybe have exceeded other people's expectations. I think if you just have been around like our group on a day-to-day basis, we just have a confidence and belief about us. And it starts with Thibs and everything that he's doing, but we just go about things the right way every day, and building the right habits. So we have a confidence and belief about us every game that we play that we're going to win the game. So maybe early on, but now it's not really coming to us as a surprise when we win games. So yeah.
Thibs has a certain rep.
And just real quick on that. I mean, again, Tom Thibodeau, the Knicks are very fortunate, I guess, to get him. And at first, look, I wanted Atkinson. I was not a Tom Thibodeau fan. I didn't like the fact that the connotation on him is that he was a guy who would run plays into the ground. People associate Derrick Rose's injury with him overplaying him, which some of it could be true. But he did have a reputation around the league of being this guy who grinds out, young players. And again, I was, mistaken. When you do more research on him, he's a guy who did study, who did have nuances to his offense. A guy who went to learn, I guess, according to Nick G, who pointed this out, learn rotations, how to form rotations with the Golden State Warriors. So again, everything works with Tom Thibodeau. The confidence comes from that because we don't have a Jimmy Butler. And granted, I didn't want Jimmy Butler on this team last year just because I love Jimmy Butler's game. But with that regime and those players, I didn't think it was going to work. And I think Jimmy Butler's in like the perfect place. But what Julius Randle was saying, you could see it. Tom Thibodeau installs a certain kind of confidence in their play. People killing RJ Barrett when he's taking a lot of those shots, even though a lot of that had to do with what Tom Thibodeau wanted. We got Hinton Murphy in the building. Let me let him in. Salute to Hinton. How you doing, bro? Can you hear?
Peace, everybody. How y'all doing today? Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you. What's good?
Yeah, man. Salute. So yeah, just as I go along with this, man, feel free to chime in. I don't know if you heard that last part I just played. And salute to Jonathan Heisenberg. Salute, bro. Yeah, we're in here tonight, man. We're just talking about a lot of stuff tonight, man. But salute to you, bro. But Hinton, do you have any points on that or any comments on that last part I just played?
Nah, that's the JJ Reddick interview.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like JJ Reddick wanted to come to the Knicks. It sounded like he was giving him a run. Like that's what I got from it.
He was like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm happy enough if I get. He's like someone taking 30 shots. He's like, yeah, I'm happy enough if I get 10 shots. I was like, Lord, don't put the pity party on us. Yeah,
he can't, like he wants in up here. So I'm for it. So in terms of next season, not this season. Next season.
Yeah, I mean he's older too. Yeah, he's gonna be 36. He's 36 right now. He's gonna be 37.
Man, so that dude, his threes like water still. Like you can't leave him open. Like that's the one thing that you can't leave him open.
Right.
On this team, you can leave anybody open. It's a 50-50 chance it's gonna go in. You leave him open, that's like 90% is going in. Pause. And
unfortunately, we don't have knockdown shooters on this team that just leaving them open. It's like, Burks, Bullocks. If you just had an adequate player, could just. By the way, Zach LaVine, goodness gracious. But if you just had an adequate player, man, who could just hit shots, this offense would open up. People talk about, Thibs doesn't run enough this and that. It's like, well, how can he run enough this and that if we don't have players to execute? You can run as many exotic things you want, but if teams are always playing zone, or if those guys can't execute and those are so-called exotic plays, then it's going to look bad. Yeah. Fizzo was trying to do it, and we killed Fizzo when he was doing it. So let's have some perspective. Let me skip ahead to 352. Let me let Latrell Sprewell's American Dreamer here, man. Salute to you, bro. How you doing, man?
What's up, bro? What's going on, guys?
Did you hear any of the JJ Reddick interview that happened today or yesterday?
I saw it. I heard the whole thing, man. It was it's why we have a potential all-star this year. It was good stuff.
Yep, it was definitely good. So I'm just gonna go through certain little cuts of it that we could just sit down and break down some of the points I think was important. So let me skip ahead to 352, where he's talking about basically Coach Tom Thibodeau's preparation and.
Coach, if you don't like the booze, I don't really.
And how much of what were your sort of thoughts when Thibs got the job, and how much of that turnaround this season and the winning culture is directly related to what he's brought to the franchise?
Yeah, man. don't know. I didn't really know play with Luau. So Luau, and I played with Booz as well. So they had played for Thibs. So I mean, I talked to them a little bit, but I didn't really know much about them. You know, I just kind of wanted to come in with an open mind, and you know, just kind of follow his lead. You know, just be a leader of the team, and you know, do whatever you ask of him. So you know, I didn't really have any you know, preconceived notion of him or whatever. But I will say this about Thibs, man. Like, he's a tough coach if you don't like to be coached, or if you don't like to play or do things the right way, then he's tough. But Thibs is the type of guy that you know, he just expects a certain level, like you said, a certain level of professionalism. He expects you to do things the right way, be prepared and do things the right way on a day-to-day basis. If you don't want to do that, then it's going to be tough. So I mean, we go about practice a certain way. We go about shoot-arounds and stuff a certain way, and I respect it, and I appreciate it because you know, early throughout the season, we're seeing the results of creating the right habits, doing things the right way. So I mean, it's dope for me. And honestly, man, he's not as much of a hard ass as people think he is, bro. Like, the dude is super cool, bro. Like, you can talk to him, like, you know, he gonna kill me if you see him. He really is soft, man. Like, you can talk to him. So I mean, Thibs is dope, bro. Like, he's dope. He's really, honestly, he's a player's coach. Like, this is the most fun as far as in the league that I've had playing for sure.
What do you think?
So yeah, let's just real quick. Salute to TL, man. That's my guy, man. Salute, man. So it seems like the whole moniker of Thibodeau being this hard ass that he, you know, he's not a player's coach is kind of, you know, a misnomer, man. You had Zach LaVine who was praising him. Obviously, Zach LaVine only played like half a season with him. You know, he called Tom Thibodeau. So you know, it seems as if maybe it's a you know, media driven. Obviously, media, they don't really do their homework on players or really the more nuanced parts of the game and the team. And other players have also said, you know, I mean, he saw what's his guy's name, Wiggins, when he went over to study a little bit with the Warriors, and he said, and Wiggins was like, I had no problem with Thibs. Thibs was a good guy. I liked him as a coach. LaVine, when he was with him, LaVine said that, you know, Tom Thibodeau was a guy who cared about him as a person. And one thing I'll say that's interesting. I mean, he does go into praise of young guys, but he said something really interesting. He said that if you don't want to work hard or practice hard or whatever, like, and prepare, right? Everybody's talking about it. You know, Sim and I had that interview with John Wiles. John Wiles said the same thing about Thibs years ago. Got to be prepared. He's going to talk about some more. You got to be uber prepared. Like, he'll get you prepared for games, you know, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that certain players on this team are playing because of that lack of preparation, that lack of taking to Tom Thibodeau's coaching? Like, they're not running through walls for Tom Thibodeau in practice, or do you think it's, you know, Tom Thibodeau, maybe it's a lack of ability? Because, you know the young players that we're probably hinting at, they're not getting minutes right now. What do you guys think about that?
Hey, you go first.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I think it's a combination of things. I think, number one, you don't play defense, you're not going to play. And the bottom line is that, like Randle said, there's a different level of preparation with this guy than his previous coaches coming into games, the scouting report. And if you're not willing to have the awareness, you're not going to play. You're going to be taken out of the game. And so when people get frustrated with Thibs down the stretch of who's playing now, who's not, the bottom line, and some of the criticism of Thibs is fair, but he's just strictly on who's my best five guys going on that in that moment in that game. And I kind of like that. I mean, I know it's not popular. Everybody wants to have a set lineup, like these are my five guys I'm going with, but he goes with the guys he believes in. Yes, he can be sometimes very firm with his rotations. But the bottom line is they see him coaching hard. Most of these guys are playing hard. The Frank thing is different because he's been hurt. I don't know what's going on with that, but I don't know, man. Everything he said was just reconfirms that the Knicks got the coach right. So.
Okay, yeah, I agree, man. Oh, go ahead and say you didn't answer. My bad.
Oh no, that's cool. I would just reiterate the same thing. If you're not prepared to push the game plan that he has, you're not going to play. If you're not applying what he put into the game plan, you're not going to play. And, you know, and you have to be okay with that. Is he as hard on you, as they say? Probably not. But if you don't apply what he's giving to you, you won't play. And you can see that with Kevin. He doesn't apply what he's giving him.
Unfortunately, I see way too much with Kevin, man. But we'll get to Kevin a little bit, man. But let me get back to another point in the interview where you talk about being held accountable. But he also talks about the young guys, man. But let me get to this real quick. Let me see.
Players who are playing a lot that's rely that has allowed them to be successful with him because it's on this. What do you think it is about some of the young guys on this team in particular that has allowed them to be successful with him? Because that's definitely been a thing. He's always been a guy that's relied on vets, for the previous spots. But you guys have a lot of young players playing a lot, playing well.
Yeah, man. He's just gonna hold you accountable. And I think the big thing about our young guys is they have a certain swagger, a certain confidence about it. Like they work a certain way. I mean, if you know one thing about Thibs, like he loves dudes who want to work. And when dudes are coming into the gym, like this is the first time I've ever been on a team. Like usually, like when I travel or I go on the road or something, whatever it is, or I come back at night and shoot, I'd be the only one like in the gym at night, or I'd be the only one like when we leave and get off the plane, like that's going to the gym and getting extra shots up. And this is the first time I've been on a team where we got multiple dudes, like damn near the whole team coming to the gym, putting in extra work, putting in extra shots, and Thibs loves it. And Thibs loves guys who are gym rats and who want to work. And that's like Quick, those guys, Obi, Kel, all those dudes, they're gym rats, man. RJ, they're gym rats. So Thibs loves that about guys, and that just installs a certain level of trust in them, even if you are a young player.
Are you guys?
And that says a lot. I mean, so it seems that.
I mute myself. Hold on.
Got you. Yeah, I see. You got the airplane in the background, but it seems as if the young guys. I mean, it's also an indictment on Fizdale and Miller last year, right?
Yeah, it was.
Those guys could not galvanize. They could not instill that spirit in the young players to come in. If you're talking about literally, and the team was trash. Like everybody should be gym rats. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
sure.
It seems as if guys were just resting on their draft positions, their current contracts, and just resting like, yep, I'm good. I don't have to necessarily put in the extra work. And every game, now you see MSG, they're showing it almost after every game quickly. Even Elfrid Payne was out there shooting shots after wins and losses. You know what I mean? I'm saying so, what are your comments on that? Like, how did that reflect on the team last year?
You want to go first? You want to take this one?
I missed part of his question, so.
I'm just saying, how did that reflect on the team like last year, like the transformation where guys weren't coming in to work after games, like shoot shots and, you know what I mean? Like work hard after games, like versus now where guys are, he's saying almost the whole team is doing that.
Well, everybody doesn't like their job. You understand? Like for some guys, this is a job, so it is what it is at that point. But I think the fact that everybody's prepared and they seem more team oriented than last year, I think that's why the chemistry is working. You can see the chemistry. Everybody likes being together. Everybody, he said, is a gym rat. So I think it's more, this is a Thibs thing. This is his chemistry and the preparedness. I think I said that before. You're not going to go into this game that with a game plan that he gives you, and you're not going to be prepared. Like you're going to always be prepared at the highest level in this with Thibs. So, that's all I'll say.
I agree.
Yeah. So,
anything, Lucho, before we go to the next point?
Yeah, I think I'll just say. This is why, to me, it was so important to get off to a good start early in the season. I mean, coming into the season, Tom Thibodeau, he has a really good track record of some guy that's had success. But for a lot of the young guys on this team, they needed to see that what he was saying is working. And it's clearly, when you see it on the floor work, you're going to listen more. That's just the reality in life. That's like in anything, any profession. When you see some type of result, keep doing it. There's a reason to the madness. The magic is in the work. And so I'm not saying the guys didn't try hard last year. I just didn't think there was necessarily a structure in place. I don't think they really believed in what they were doing. But now I think they finally realize that it's really not hard. It's just you have to play with effort, play together. And when you have your best guy buy into that, that's big. So that's the reason.
That is an excellent point, guys. Like, there's a reason why Jimmy Butler is so impactful on that Heat team. Now, granted, they have a good coach, they have a great GM, they have a good owner. But when your best players buy into, it's like the Army. When your best fighters, your strongest guys buy into whatever they're selling, right? Like, everything just falls into place. I mean, everything falls into place a lot easier. You know what I mean? There are a lot of head coaches in the NBA who failed, not necessarily because they weren't good coaches, because their players did not believe them or did not buy in, and the best players did not buy in. That's why I say it's so dangerous sometimes to make some of these trades, because you can divide a locker room where you can have a good coach giving you good instruction, but then the best player isn't buying in. And some of those kids may have looked up to that best player as like an idol growing up. You know what I mean? It happened with, I'm not saying the coach was great, but part of the whole Melo thing was Melo was so influential that he got KP to basically be like, well, they treat Melo trash like that, I'm not going to go to my exit meetings. And granted, Phil Jackson wasn't right in that situation, but no, it was KP. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's why when people talk about bringing in players like a Westbrook,
They were both wrong.
oh yeah, both wrong. No one was right in that situation. But when people talk about bringing a guy like Westbrook, you have to take into account it's not just, okay, he's giving you almost close to a triple double. It's his attitude, is whether he's going to buy in. And let me know, when was the last time he really bought in outside of that Rockets year? I don't remember him really. I mean, people were writing articles once he got traded from OKC that Billy Donovan wasn't a good coach. I'm like, dogs. Russell Westbrook was not going to play any other play away other than his style. They were manufacturing triple double. I remember games Steven Adams and whoever the power forward was playing at the time would literally box out themselves so Russell Westbrook get a rebound. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that type of guy coming to an impressionable team like the Knicks, who didn't have a legit leader, and you're talking about a first-time head coach who's already maligned by the media. So, like Latrell Sprewell said, man, great point. You need guys to fall in line, and when your best player could do it, it's a lot easier. So let me go skip ahead. There's only a few more parts, guys, I want to play. I just found a lot of good points, and I want to give Julius Randle credit.
Can I add something before you start?
Go ahead.
Remember that this is 90s Knicks culture, really. Pat Riley, this is under his tree. So it's all the same thing. So, that's all I wanted to add, because you have Pat Riley, then you have Van Gundy, and now you have Thibs, who is under Van Gundy. So this is still 90 Knicks culture. So he's just bringing a culture back that we already had. Yeah. It's just now, are we going to fall in line and apply it?
Damn you. Rav was going to play this. I was going to ask a question on slightly that. So let me play this, and I'm going to ask something that goes right perfectly that's going to go to overall state of basketball right now. Well, let me get to 8. And he just talks more about preparation and stuff, but I just want you guys to hear it, just in case some people did not hear this.
How are you? I think
really
you're
good
third in defensive. You guys aren't practicing. I mean, you guys are. I think as of today, I looked it up. I think you're third in defensive rating right now. How are you guys building that defense without getting those reps in practice?
Well, the training camp was huge. I mean, even if it was a short training camp, we said early on, like during the preseason games and even early in the season, we kept saying and we knew, we kept saying our defense is ahead of our offense, and that was just our theme from early on. Like, we were winning games on the defensive end, and I'll say this about just our coaching staff and Thibs and everything. Like, this is probably the most, from a game to game. Like, I haven't been in the playoffs yet, unfortunately, but from a game to game perspective, this is the most detailed and prepared we are on each team. We come in, as far as scouting report, how we're going to game plan against people. We obviously have our game to game defensive principles and stuff like that, but as far as the detail and preparation that goes into our game plan, it's crazy. It's second to none. And then we said we don't have practice a lot, honestly. We don't practice as much as hard. Like you said, from playing every other day. Shoot arounds are almost like our practices in a sense. But yeah, the preparation and the attention to detail that Thibs has on stuff is insane.
How much have
So with that, again, more of the same, but hearing that in regards to these guys being properly prepared before every game. Like when, I don't know if you guys saw the John Wallace interview Sim and I had, but John Wallace was saying like Thibs back in the freaking 90s was making sure that you knew Thibs and Pat Riley. I'm sorry, Jeff Van Gundy would make sure that you knew, like, all right, we're playing Glenn Rice. You better know where his best percentages are on the court. You know what I'm saying? You're playing well, let me not say Michael Jordan. He was good anywhere for the most part outside the perimeter. You know, you're playing Alonzo Mourning. You're playing freaking Tim Hardaway Sr. You know, you got to know percentages, right? And to Latrell Sprio's point, and your point too, Hinton Murphy, do you think that these old school coaches can make a comeback right now? Granted, Thibodeau has a lot of cachet, right? But when you're talking about players who are literally leaving college, right? First of all, they're superstars in high school, right? Which is really no measure of their talent, except for a select few, right? The Garnetts, the LeBrons, right? And those guys come every blue moon or full moon, excuse me. Do you think these old school coaches, who I think that they're talking about discipline, just being prepared, you don't even necessarily have to run all these exotic plays and that stuff, just coming into the game prepared, knowing that, hey, freaking Zach LaVine likes to get the ball, you know, he likes to get passes from this angle. We got to defend his left. We got to defend it. You know what I mean? You play the numbers, right? Do you think that these so-called old school coaches can make a comeback? And if so, how? Because if you don't have cachet like a Tom Thibodeau, you know what I mean, what teams are really giving you that you know, that ability or that leeway to do so? So, two-part question, if you can answer, you know what I mean?
Want to go first?
I'll go first on this one. I don't think that the old school coaches are really, I don't think they lose what they have. You know, they just study the game. You know, if you like the game, you study the game, you're going to study it no matter what. So for me, I just think it's them just adjusting to the way the game is played. You know, yeah, you have your ways, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to adjust or you're not going to be part of it. So, you know. That
is true, but a lot of these coaches, unfortunately, because you got a lot of owners who they want ratings, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of these regimes, they just favor, we got a star player, give him 1 billion shots a game. We need the fans. We need a lot of times these smaller places, right? But a guy like Tom Thibodeau, say Tom Thibodeau went to Atlanta. I'm not sure if Trae Young is putting up those same numbers. Just theoretically, I'm not sure if he's putting up those same numbers, but Tom Thibodeau might make him a better overall player. Now that might mean some ugliness early on, but I put money on maybe the second, third year, Atlanta Hawks are probably a perennial playoff team because they got a lot of talent.
Well, he's going to make them play defense. That's going to be the difference because he doesn't have an issue with your guards shooting the ball. Like I said, his system works with guards that score the basketball. So if you can't score the basketball as a guard, no bueno. No,
fair enough. But then he might run into issues with like a guy like Cam Reddish, who's a high draft pick, but he might sit at Cam Reddish just because Cam Reddish attitude ain't good. But the owner and the GM might be like, yo, we drafted this dude at I forgot where they drafted Cam Reddish, but they might be like, yo, we drafted this dude high, you better play him. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do coaches like that get that leeway?
He can't work with that then because I don't think that's going to work for him. I don't think you're going to force him to play guys that are not ready to play, even though I understand that it's an investment, but the investment really is on winning. You know, you're investing to win. So you're not investing for players, you're investing to win. So the best players should always play. And I think in the big picture of things, if he explained it that way, I don't think an owner really would have the problem with it.
You say that now, man. You know how many crazy owners there are?
Yeah, I know how some of these guys are because I know how it is. You know, like I said, you put money in this guy and he's not playing. Why is he not playing? And then that's where you have to, as a coach or a GM or the president, you have to give him these points. This is why he's not playing. Boom, 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 boom. You can even give him tape. They record every practice. Be like, look, this guy ain't playing. You know, it is what it is. And then if they do a research on him, like, what's he doing that night? They got investigators for that. So it's not like these guys can really hide what they're like if they're not doing what you're supposed to do. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I agree, man. It just sucks because I think there are some of these coaches, but it's like if you don't come in, the best thing is to come in when a new GM comes in, like where owner kind of like wipes everything clean. Like, hey, we bring it because most owners are dumb. I'm sorry, they're rich as hell, but a lot of these guys are dumb.
Yeah, because this is their toy. You know, it's an expensive toy, but you know, And that's the thing. Like a lot of these guys, you know, they don't understand. It's your life, but it's their entertainment.
Exactly. And they want immediate results.
And guess what? It's our entertainment too. You know, but it's a different type of, as a fan. At the same time, you know, so you know, and a lot of guys they don't get that. But you know, that's because they're on the other side. You know, but we don't get that too because we're not under the camera, we're not under the lights, but we also don't make that type of money. But in the big picture thing, is their life and our entertainment. I hate to say it that way, but you know, it is what it is.
I think also it's like they look at it like I got my millions being uber aggressive on my style. But you know, when you talk about the game of basketball, it's a totally different animal, right? And it happens even on the microcosmic level when you talk about play. Like Michael Jordan, you know, has been terrible with drafts. I think a lot of times he looks at it in the lens of his eyes, like I like this player because they have certain things that, like, as when I was a player, that was good. Versus, you know, I think some of the better, you know, executives are guys who may have not been the most talented or more, but they had to get by because they had to see the game on a 3-dimensional level. And I say Michael Jordan didn't, but guys like Michael Jordan, they can't see the forest from the trees. Like they just think of it in their way. Like, yo, if you don't play like me, if you don't have that heart like me, like you should not be drafting Adam Morrison. I don't care. I know he was great in the tournament. He was great in the regular college. But that's a guy that you look at and you say, nah. You should be able to discern whether a guy's a college level beast and whether that guy could translate to the NBA. And it's like, you know, so I agree with you 100%. Did you have a point, Latron? I didn't want to overtalk you, bro.
Yeah. I'll just add to, I agree with everything my man said. I would just say, especially like you said, if a front office strips it down, that is a good time to do it. I mean, the old school coaches, at the end of the day, the guys that have had success in this league, it never changes. Defense wins in this league. I don't care as offensive as a league as it is. The bottom line is, if you play defense, you're going to be a good team in this league. You need to be a top 10 defense to win a championship, in my opinion, in this league. So if you get guys to play hard and play defense, you have a chance. And it really depends on who is the superstar player on your team. Julius Randle's a guy that's never been to the playoffs, so he can definitely buy into the old school mentality and play all the minutes. LeBron James throughout his career, he didn't play for a Pat Riley in his career, but the way Popovich talks to those guys on that team, it won't work for some people, but Popovich has the success. It's always going to work. So I think it depends who your players are. I think it depends what the situation is. But these guys, at the end of the day, my only question with Thibs is two things, Legion. It's two questions. Number one, he plays guys a lot of minutes. And at the end of the day, when you got to have a deep team. At the end of the day, you can't wear people down. You gotta. That's just the way the league is now. That's the only. That's one of the questions I have about Thibs that I still would like him to work on. I think with RJ, I think it's been smart actually that he's playing lesser minutes. Fourth quarter different. And then the last thing I'll say is just more screens for the shooters. It's a pick and roll league. I get it. We're playing through Randle. I'd like to see more off the ball screens and more plays around there. We'll see what happens. But these guys, look, a guy like Thibs, if he gets an opportunity, and this was the perfect situation for him to come in, Legion, to your point, where it's got to be the right fit. But these guys can still make it. What they teach still plays in this league. You just got to have the right people in place.
I agree with you 100%. And talking about right people in the place, I'm going to actually play the part where he talked about Kobe.
Can I add something too?
Oh, go ahead. Of course, man. Go ahead.
Don't forget, I think he's playing 10 guys. So it's not like he has a short rotation right now, you know. So
yeah, I think he did expect
10 guys.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Yeah, like I think he did that. And I also, back to your point about the offense, I would love to see him run some stuff that Golden State and Utah run.
Well, see, Nick G was saying that, I guess in the article somebody read, he said that it wasn't really to learn plays. It was just to learn how to use rotations. That's why he's using the 10-man rotation. Even though I would have loved to, if Thibs could run more motion offense, that would be beautiful.
Damn rotations. Give me some offense in this. It, like, change the system. Like, everybody runs the same thing, but they run it different ways. Like he took all that time off. He should have came up with some. He should have, like, as a coach, you should be like, even though your personnel kind of limits you, but at the same time, you could open up your personnel and you could teach them some things. It's a tool.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Because I really honestly got things a talent thing. We have, no offense to we have a lot of low IQ or low execution type of players. Put like this.
We're the worst team in the division.
I would kill for the Knicks to have what the Golden State Warriors have, where they set that pick and literally two of the guys they go into, like, it'll be a Curry and a
two different directions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like you have two weapons. Now, obviously, Steph Curry is one of the greatest shooters of all time. So your attention most likely going to be put on him for the most part until you kind of catch on if Curry's having a rare bad night shooting. But we don't even we don't have guys who can set picks. We
you ever
don't
seen
have
the Nets run that wheel at the first play of the game? You ever see the Nets run that wheel in the first play of the game between Kevin Durant and Hart?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah,
we don't have good. To your point, Legion, we don't have guys that sets good screens. Other than Mitch started to do it later, later in the season. But Mitch,
Latrell,
Legion,
do that.
No. He's bad. He's bad. Let me get to it. He's bad. He's bad at setting screens. But it's maybe the 2 weeks before he got hurt, he started to finally set better screens. But to your point, we don't have guys that set good screens on this team.
Mm-hmm. We have low IQ, low ability type of players. Like I just find it amazing that so many simple fundamentals. Not saying it's the easiest, but there's simple fundamentals we don't have on this team now. Granted, given that this regime is going to have some time to draft guys and bring guys on, I think that IQ and that level of play is going to elevate. But and again, I'm not just getting on Knox. I'm not, but I look at him as like he has the most ability for the guy getting the least amount of minutes on his team, right? A guy who is 6'9", I am Thibs. You want me to set a billion screens? Like, I'm looking at Obi. Say what you want about Obi, but every time he's out there, he looks like a poor man Sabonis with the number of screens that he sets up top for the ball handler. Constant movement. He is trying. At the very least, he's trying. He understands, okay, set a screen. Okay, right? Okay, they recovered. All right, set a screen here. Boom, cut to the basket. Right. And again, it's not he has not been the most productive, whatever, but it's like you see it. It's like a higher level of play versus a guy like Kevin Knox who dunked on Ben Simmons. You can, and who I don't care what no one says.
He has more ability than Obi, but he's not a better athlete than Obi.
And he doesn't have the motor Obi has.
Yeah, he may not be, but with setting picks and all that stuff, it's not necessarily you have to be a better athlete per se. You just gotta just be a little bit more fundamental, a little bit more smarter, and it's effort. If I'm setting a screen, okay, I know Derrick Rose, and I'm not saying using Derrick Rose. I know Quickly likes to get that floater off. I should be able to be like, I should be working with Quickly. Now, it's not about being in the gym pumping up iron. It's about, hey, let's run this play and let me get to the point where I know you're comfortable. I know that little twitch when you like to take that little turn, when to set the pick properly, when to actually put the umph in the pick and then delay it and then roll. You know what I mean?
This is where
we don't have that
needs to be like football.
It's synergy. That's called synergy,
yeah.
Legion.
Instead of having shoot around, you should be talking more about plays and executing those plays and like in the shoot around instead of shooting around. Like you should be having a conversation when Thibs calls this play. I should be like, if the man does this, then you do this, and we can adjust. And if he does that, then we do this. There's a chemistry and a nuance to it that these guys don't like. Yeah, they can study all the tape they want, but they still need to sit there and talk. That's where chemistry and being together for a while. That's
say it one more time. So you're pointing at something. Oh, you point at this. Yeah. It's look, because again, I'm not getting on Knox. Please, I'm not killing. But everybody says Knox be in the gym 24. It's not necessarily about the gym. Like
he doesn't apply if he doesn't apply what he's learning in practice. Because Randle said in the interview today, he's there.
He's there.
Like that. So you're not applying.
So is that just ability then? Because Tom Thibodeau's watching this. If you can work as hard as you want, if you're not the guy, you're not the guy. Like, man, I just don't Knox, man. It just sucks because it's like he can't even do sometimes the simplest things on a court. I forgot if it was Coach Colorblocks in that Cleveland game. Once Knox had that, and my chair I gotta get a new chair. But when Knox said, when he drew he committed the foul on the 3-point shot in the corner. I forgot against who, maybe it was Dotson or something. And it was like Coach Colbach said, he's not going to be in tune with the game for the rest of the game. He literally was out of. He was done. He was done. Mentally, he was just done. And I'm like,
and he has to get over that.
Yo, what's up, Chris?
I got comparison for Julius Randle.
Go ahead. Who are you going to compare him to? You better not say K.
He has been playing like LeBron this year.
Hey. Look, I'm not a LeBron fan, but let's.
Like LeBron. He passes like LeBron.
No.
Leads in. I think to win the game on Sunday, we need to come out with the swagger and put our foot to the throttle and don't let our offense needs to. I was impressed with our offense the other day, but our defense not so much. But we need to play better tomorrow. On Sunday.
I agree with you. And screw C-Mac. He says Gmail has a low IQ. It's taking him years to get a new chair. Screw you, man. I'm looking. Screw you, man. Screw you, bro. I apologize. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Got Chris Latrell Spiel, man. We got Henson. Salute to C-Mac, PDP, Darley, Kodak Vlogs, Allah Y, excuse me. TL. Salute to everybody, man. Let me see. He says, that buff is for no reason. That's what TL said about Knox. Salute to Jermaine Royster, man. Salute, man. Royster 5'9" in the building. Todd Barbie. Salute, man. I doubt they would have taken 2 guards, though. Salute to A-Story, Loyalty, and More. That's a great name, by the way. Obi said underrated good screens. Yes, he does. And Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson is a high IQ player, just, he's older. IMK Band. Salute, man. Sparks 2718. Salute. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Oh, Hinton has one more point. Go ahead. Oh, Thesis Thomas, R.L. Brown. Salute. City for real. Salute.
Hey,
the problem,
Go.
I let him go. All right. So check this out, right? Another reason why these guys have a hard time is because they're coming straight out of high school and 1 year of college. They're not playing enough ball, so that's why there's another reason for low IQ players. Sometimes you got to stay, even though they're getting a
talking about what the
top level and even though they're getting a top level of knowledge, they're still not ready. Your brain is still not even ready till you're 25.
They haven't developed yet.
So you're not mentally prepared really still, even when you're playing basketball. So in the big picture of things, Knox and all these guys really, they probably won't even get it until they're gone. And when they get traded, and it's going to suck because we're going to watch him flourish when he's not a Knick anymore. Or we hope that.
Go ahead, Chris.
I think we need to swing the ball around to open shooters if we're going to win. To the 3-point shooters on Sunday if we're going to win.
Well, our 3-point shooters got to make shots. Our 3-point shooters got to make shots, bro. Like Burks and Bullock have been inconsistent at best. You know what I mean? Like we have been swinging around to them. They just can't hit shots. RJ Barrett's not at a point where he's hitting shots like that from outside, even though he'll have a good game here and then a few bad games here from outside. But we legit don't. I mean, the guys that we brought in to be those role players who hit shots, they have not been doing it consistently. So, I agree with you. I agree with you a billion %. But again, like what we said is like you can have as many exotic plays as you want, but if guys are not executing, then it becomes a talent issue. So you got to wait. And this is why I give Tom Thibodeau credit. He's doing a lot with little. He's trying to make Thanksgiving dinner with a few freaking bags of chips and some freaking juicy juices. You know what I mean? Like this is not a team that you look at talent wise and say, yo, night in, night out, that is a perennial playoff team, and they're overachieving. I salute Julius Randle. I salute all these guys for doing that. But again, the league is still talent league, man. But let's see. This is what,
can I just say one thing really quick before you go on?
Go ahead.
This is why I can't get crazy. There's some people that get on Thibs so much for every we can question certain things, who should be in the game. It's all fair, but at the end of the day, the fact that this team is 14-16, I can't get all crazy. Yes, it was a bad game against the Magic. I was disappointing, but they were due for a bad game. To be where we are right now, you just have to take a step back and say, hey, come on, let's give this guy credit. Let's not kill him. But the criticism is fair, is about who should be in the game. It's all fair. That's what we do. But I'm just saying, if you know basketball, Thibs is doing a good job with this team.
It was actually Michael Jordan's birthday. We weren't going to win that game.
I just got 2 more questions.
Go ahead, Chris.
First of all, Legion, I think Tom Thibodeau is a Hall of Fame coach. And I think if we draft K. Cunningham, he will make everyone better.
We ain't
in the passing.
We ain't.
And hey, Legion, one more thing.
Go ahead, sir.
Legion, I will call you after the game on Sunday to talk about it if we win or lose, man. Salute to you,
Hey, that's all I
Legion,
can ask for,
and
man.
salute to you, Latrell. Good seeing you
Salute,
guys. Love you guys.
Love you, Chris.
Love you,
Take it
man.
easy.
Yo, Chris, that's my guy, Christopher Hall, man. Die-hard supporter, bro. This guy's been calling in, supporting my channel, bro, for a while, man. Salute to him. His parents also fine out there with a lot of COVID cases, man. So salute to him and his parents, man. Salute to OK State. Well, it's not OK State, excuse me, Oklahoma. He's in Oklahoma right now.
I'm
But he's
hoping
an OK
my
State
team
fan.
beats Milwaukee tonight. I'm watching the game right now,
Oh,
so I'm gonna go back to watching it. But I'll be back. I'll call you after the Knicks win. Love
all
you
right, man.
guys.
Definitely.
Peace.
Peace, bro. Peace,
Love
bro.
you.
Stay up, man.
Peace, bro.
Salute to Mike Morgan too, man. We also got we had a few. Oh, Lawrence Mabry, man, aka Jadakiss, man. Salute to my guy Lawrence Mabry. I'm only joking, Lawrence Mabry. Salute to man. It's the Knicks, man. Go subscribe to that channel, man. My guy Ron Cleveland putting in work, man. One of the best.
He is.
One of the best content guys out there, man. I love even when I'm not on there, man. I just like leaving it on, man, because something always comes up. Just the debates and the talks aren't necessarily circular, man. He always finds some other angle to go into. And Ron Cleveland, man, I like the fact that he doesn't have a lot of cognitive dissonance, man. There are a lot of things that we disagreed on, but he'll change his perspective, right, with new information, man. And that, that's all you can ask for, man, for someone to have an open mind. So salute to crap,
somebody who keeps it a buck.
Finally showing his face. What the hell? Who's this guy, yo? What the what? Hadouken Sharon. Is that Hadouken Sharon?
Yep.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
This kid's smart, man. This kid's smart. He came on yesterday and was spitting some facts.
Yeah, Hadouken Sharon is that guy, man. Even though he got a Tommy Hilfiger. What is this, 1995? He wouldn't know that. Why would I bring up 1995 with this kid, man?
My hair is crazy. I can't.
I apologize. I don't know why I would bring up 1995 with a kid that probably has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Hinton knows what I'm talking about. But let me get back to the interview real quick. Again, he's talking about Kobe Bryant. Hold up, let me get it. He has a son up here too. So
is good.
Gets into a precarious situation.
Yeah. So that was like his best friend, like back in Dallas. It's like, bro,
hold up.
he's just aggressive like that.
Let me just make sure I'm at the right place. I apologize for that, guys. Because I stupidly put the part exactly. Obviously, I want to set it up with the question that was asked first.
Were and we'll just kind of touch on Kobe's last year.
Yeah.
And what your memories from that season were in watching it.
Man, it was an unbelievable experience, bro. Like, it was tough, man, because as a young player, you want to develop, you want to grow, you want to learn, and this season really wasn't. As far as growing as a player, it really wasn't about that. The season was about Kobe. So it was tough in that aspect. And then on top of that, it wasn't about winning either. So it was tough in that aspect. But I was so caught up in just in awe of being in my childhood hero. Like, dude, the superhero, my favorite player ever, that I really didn't care. And just to experience that type of love that people had for him on a game-to-game basis, it was insane. Like, I haven't, like Michael Jackson touring or something, bro. It was crazy, bro. It was nuts. Like, he had announced that he was retiring in our first away game. It was back in Philly, where he obviously grew up. And, like, it was like a Laker home game. Everywhere we went, like, on the road, was a Lakers home game. And it was crazy. Like, people crying, like, just obsessed with him. So it was fun, like, just to experience that. And then on top of that, man, dude, he was the greatest teammate, bro. Like, he was a complete open book about whatever. Like, it wasn't even just basketball. Like, it could be business, it could be anything. Like, he was a complete open book. So I soaked up so much knowledge and learned so much from him during that experience. Like, it was something that, and we developed like a real relationship, like a real brotherhood. Like, he was a big brother. So, to have that experience, man, like, I wouldn't change it for anything.
So obviously, he was talking about Kobe Bryant, his impact on Julius Randle. Now, I asked this question, man, because we were just talking about having
You didn't
players.
play the part, man. Leach, I don't mean to cut you off, but you didn't play the part where he said about Kobe wanting the ball, like he was about to take a shot. You don't have that clip?
Okay. That was the one where he's like, you mean during the final, like he was like, oh, even if it wasn't his last game, he would have been asked for the ball like
his
60
final
times
game.
And
Yeah.
JJ Reddick brought up the box score, and Kobe took over 50 shots that game.
Okay, hold.
He said if he was in his prime, he would.
So you better not shoot that ball. He said you better not shoot that ball.
Say to him like, Kobe, go for it, or did he say, "Yo, I'm shooting every time tonight"? Like, or did it happen organically?
He didn't have to say it. He didn't have to say it. It was spoken between us as players. It was like, yo, he's getting every shot. Like, we knew that. Like, we say, yo, we passing him the ball every time. So it started off rough. Like, if you watch the game, like, I don't know, he probably first 15 shots, he probably made 2. Like, so we were worried. But man, he flipped that switch, bro, and it was like, really, like, it was like one of the few times all season I seen like the real Black Mamba come out. It was crazy, bro. Like, he just had a certain energy and presence about him. He was, doing that with his teeth and all that. Like, I'm like, yo, like, dude is going crazy. So, yeah, it was definitely unspoken. It was actually a funny It was actually
he has his kid with him.
Game because all up, he inbounded to me, and I was like, yo, I'm about to come out, I'm shooting this time, whatever. And he was like, yo, enough. Like, he was like, if you want everybody in this arena to boo you, go ahead, but you better throw me the damn ball. So, I was like, yeah, you're right. And that was just a funny moment for the game. But yeah, it was definitely unspoken. And then after he was like, yo, I lucky I'm retired, because he was like, if I was in my prime, bro, this is how it would be every night.
Well,
that's awesome.
Well,
that's awesome.
I mean, he was close enough to doing that when freaking Shaq and Phil Jackson left the first time. He did that with Smush Parker and all those, other role players that weren't as good as the first championship team. So, but important thing that that he said, and that hopefully Julius Randle takes this, because I thought last year, I think there was some type of tension between him and RJ. That's just from my perspective. But now that Julius Randle is one, he's buying into a system, and his success is not selfish, is not greedy. It's not, it's actually benefiting the team and benefiting players. Do you think that Julius Randle can become that guy, or is it too early to say where he's that guy? That's, I was saying partner because they already got Derrick Rose, who he's going to talk about a little bit later. I'm going to play it next, but can Julius Randle become that guy that guys seek as like a mentor? Guys like he's that orbit of a player. Let me start with Joe, because Joe just came in. Salute to Joe, by the way. Salute to Darley, by the way.
Salute. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Salute. Peace.
Good, man. We good, bro.
I think, and you know how I've been, my credit, I'm one of the biggest Julius Randle critics.
That's why I asked you first. That's
yeah.
Of course.
I think he can. I'm listening to more of these. I seen the Jason Williams interview, and I didn't see that before, but that was when he first signed with us. And a lot of the stuff he's talking about, and you could see it in his body language, he's just different this year. Last year he looked unhappy. Last year was just, he was trying too much. But this year, you see that he's trusting teammates and he's buying in. And what's making me like him more now is when he talked in that interview about he knew what he wanted to work on, and with one of his three-point shooting, and the fact that he went with them 9 months off, that he was putting like up 2,000 shots a day for them 9 months to get better at his three-point shooting, and now it's showing. And as he said, was that he goes, hard work is undefeated. And you're seeing it now. And I don't know, can he be a number one option on a championship team? I know he can be a 2A or definitely a 2B, but I need to see more.
But not necessarily even on offense or even just a game. I'm just talking about, can he have that attitude where it's like, yo, I'm going to sit here with the youngins, right, and be that mentor. I'm imparting knowledge on these guys that are coming straight from college, or but obviously become from college, but coming into the league. I'll be that mentor guy, like, because again, his game, the way that Tom Thibodeau set it up, even though his numbers have gone up, his game is a lot more conducive to getting guys the ball, right? I've seen plays where I remember one play, Julius Randle caught the ball in the corner from, I forgot who it was. He had an open shot and passed it back to Burks, who was actually more defended than he was. And I'm like, wow, I would have never seen that last year. You know what I'm saying? Can Julius Randle just be that I don't say father figure, that sounds so corny, but that's because we're talking about synergy, we're talking about chemistry. those are the type of guys, even if they aren't the best player on the team, even if they're not he is the best player, even if they're not the so-called number one option when you get more talent or whatever, they could be the orbit that guys they kind of galvanize around. You know what I'm saying? Hinton, do you think that he could be that guy?
Remember last year, he couldn't do that because he had Mook here and he had Portis here. So last year, it was about getting in where I fit in. I don't care about nobody else. This year it's his basketball team. Even though Mook got traded, but in the big picture things, it was never his basketball team. This is his basketball team. So he has to be the leader.
Can I add on? I want to add on to what you're saying. So if you remember last year, right? And I'm using RJ as the example because I see him doing things that he would never have done last year. When did last year you see RJ playing in the post trying to do fadeaway shots like Kobe style?
End of the season, but he didn't play a lot of post. But end of the season, Mike Miller opened up the game a little bit for him. That's when he saw it. He had 32 possessions in the post.
So if you see a lot of RJ's game this year, I can tell that that Randle's game is rubbing off on RJ. Randle's improvements are rubbing off on RJ. Even if RJ is going through these slumps, he's trying new things. You see him trying things, and it's probably why his shots are missing. You can't expect somebody who's trying new things for his stuff to work right away. And some of the stuff is things that like look now RJ's trying to shoot more threes, and I know people hate it, but I think it's something that he has to go through in order to get better. That's just my opinion, and I think Randle can do that at least short term, until somebody else can come in who's a more solid leader. But right now he's the leader, so I think he's doing his job.
I think with RJ's game is more so Thibs, but I could definitely see Randle because again they have a better chemistry than I saw last year. Outside of that, for some reason RJ still has still has a tunnel vision, but passes from the wing, and again at one point RJ Barrett. Randle had like the highest field goal percentage from passes from RJ Barrett, given the frequency, right? Adjusted for frequency, right? So again, their chemistry just looks a lot better. RJ Barrett had a pass on a fast break that was a little bit too far for Randle. Randle didn't put down his head and all that stuff. He kind of gave him a dap and said, "All right, we good. Don't worry about it."
They clash because it's RJ's rookie year. He's trying to get his, he's trying to get in to show that I can do these things. Mm-hmm. And Randle, even though he's been in here, it still wasn't his basketball team. Like I said, Mook and Portis were here. The team was older, so he was just trying to fit in. Coaches getting fired. Mm-hmm. Then you get a new coach. Like, oh man, forget it. I know I'm the best player on this team. I'm gonna get my buckets just in case something happens in this offseason. I'm getting in where I fit in. And this kid, he's in my way. So we just gonna clash just off of that. Because they were both trying to fit in and establish themselves.
Both trying to be.
So this wasn't. Randle got better after Mook got traded too. Randle was a little more efficient after Mook got traded.
Yeah, because he was in his way.
Yeah, you had Mook was trying to get his. Like Mook was putting up a lot of. He was efficient as hell, but he built up trade. They were building him up for trade value. Now Randle has it looks like he's taken on. It was the first year of having to be a number one option or one of the top guys in the team, and now he's into it. Now he knows what he has to do. And I think they brought in Obi more or less as his replacement. And instead of getting mad about Obi and pouting about it, he's taking Obi under his wing and he's helping him develop. Like you hear him talk about the young guys all the time. And about last year, what made me stand out in that interview about what the interview we had, he was talking about how he learns a lot from Luke Walton. How he learned a lot from what was the coach the Pelicans?
Alvin Gentry.
Alvin Gentry. But he never mentioned Thibs
he didn't mention Thibs or Miller the whole interview.
He mentioned Thibs, but he never mentioned Fizdale at all.
I'm sorry, Fizdale. I'm sorry.
Fizdale. He never mentioned Fizdale. So that to me was, I don't think he had a good relationship with Fizdale.
Oh, and Fizdale was trying to make him a so-called point forward. And I'll say this real quick. I don't think that you should ever be like an insubordinate to a coach. But when you are not a good teacher, people can sniff it. They can be like, all right, this guy's BSing. He don't know what the hell he's doing. So
unless you work on ESPN.
ESPN, same ESPN that's now praising the Knicks now, right? That's now blindly loving the Knicks, right? Same ESPN that had Michael Rappaport told me now he's a Nets fan. Now Michael Rappaport's on the
but that's how you know the culture has changed.
Well, do you know how deflating it is? Do you know how deflating it is?
Those guys, think about this.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a big baseball fan, right? They fired good writers like Jason Starks, and they did that because, again, they're losing money because of basketball deals. So what they have now are a bunch of Stephen A. wannabes that just say a lot of like boisterous things, but a lot of it's empty calories. There's nothing really that you won't sit there and be like, yo, this guy actually put a good point up. Let me research this. I mean, they don't do so. They have to have a bunch of guys who just say a bunch of crazy things to get attention. So let it be. It's like people have to show me stuff on Twitter or send me links. For the most part, I don't listen to ESPN when I see it on Twitter. It's like, oh, okay, fair. Oh, now they're praising us. It's like these guys are clowns. Like, you know what I mean?
Spike was back praising us, and I thought he left too.
Oh.
Do you know how deflating it is, Legion?
They don't talk good about the Knicks if Fizdale's working on jump. If Fizdale's on the jump, they don't mention the Knicks.
Nope.
But to me, and the people are saying about we're overachieving. I think last year we underachieved because of bad coaching, bad front office, and now you have a competent front office and you have a competent coach, and now you see it all there. And what in that interview made me stand out, what made me kind of confused on why they drafted Obi if they had a plan to keep Randle, because they asked Randle about the coaching. They went through Randle asking about the coaching search, about what type of coach does he want to help motivate him.
I don't think they trusted Randle.
They hired Thibs.
And he said he wanted, but I think I might play. I think
he didn't say he wanted Thibs, but he said that once they got Thibs, he knew that he was gonna tell him when he's wrong, and then help him improve, unlike other people.
He's gonna hold him accountable.
That's what he. Yep, that's what he said. Yeah. So I give it to first foremost. So Sutil Project Nerd HQ, man. Thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Good dude, man. He was on he was Lawrence. He was on Man the Knicks earlier today, man. He's on IG. So guys, please check my man
Hector?
out. Yeah, Hector Bach.
I was just on with him with Ron.
Yeah, salute to him,
man.
After
Ron, they try to say in the chat that they rather have Randle than Giannis.
Nah, okay. I don't know about that one.
Yo, man, these guys take it too far sometimes.
I'll be talking about.
We won't get to that. Let me just finish. I got a very few more parts of the interview. I'm trying to have a distinguished episode. It might be a little bit boring, but I just don't want to get angry about this. I've heard Giannis.
If Chuck comes on, you're gonna get angry.
I've heard who's the third one? They said Jokic. Salute to Kevin McLeod.
A two-time MVP against a guy that never made it to an All-Star game.
You're rather have a guy that's doing it for a quarter of a season over the two-time MVP.
And they try to compare it to Jokic. I'm like, Jokic, first of all, Jokic is probably the best center in the league. Okay, hold up. Let me get through this. Please. I'm trying to be.
Legion, can I just say one thing?
Go ahead, man.
When Fizdale tried to draw a play out of a timeout, do you know how deflating it was?
Oh, because there's no play on the actual board.
We have to draw our own plays. What is this guy showing me on the clipboard? This is not basketball. It can be deflating for a team when you don't believe that your coach knows what he's doing. And it's not just Fizdale. There are many coaches in this league. They talk. I've been on Zach Lowe's podcast. I've been listening. Many coaches that we have watched, when our team watched what our coach drew up, we said, okay, we're not going anywhere. They know. They're not dumb.
Bro, how would they know what we drawn up when many times, if you looked at the board, it was empty? There was nothing. And hold up. Many times, I remember I said this on MBK. I said he actually doesn't have a clipboard. He had to. I think it was his second season that you saw more.
I was just about to say that.
Clipboard. First season, you did not see him with a clipboard. I was complaining about this. Me and Isaiah used to complain like, "Yo,
tanking the first season. They were tanking the first season. They wanted."
You could have tanked with that team because they didn't really have that much talent. You could have tanked with still developing an identity on both sides of the ball, or at least some on one side of the ball, to where now at least Knox would have given you adequate production in the second year because all right, he's being coached up or whatever it may be, but we had nothing that first year. I was like, yo, bro, where?
That's a good perception by you. No clipboard first year. Interesting.
I'm not saying it was a whole first year. I just remember that first year, and then the second year, I was on the MBK. Was like, yo, I'm happy. Fizzo finally had a clipboard. So, Fizzo, man, I know you're on ESPN. They don't talk about the Knicks. I guess when you're on there, like they said, man, but. Don't ever talk about
props when I hear it.
Fair play to me. Grew hair.
They just talk about LaMelo Ball.
Of course, LaMelo Ball. That doesn't. They don't. Anyway.
Can I say something about the mentorship real quick?
Go ahead. Let me go get back to the
So about the mentorship, I had a conversation with Jonathan JD in the chat yesterday, and I feel like Randle is more of a mentor for RJ and Obi, because Obi talks about him all the time, about how he takes him under his wing. And then RJ, I feel like they're the closest, even though last year we did think that they had like a problem. I feel like they're the closest. And I feel that this All-Star appearance, like if Randle was an All-Star, I feel like this is going to make the young players play harder, especially RJ. I feel like this is a big thing to make them play harder.
Yeah, I agree too. And it's a big thing for the organization.
I can't wait to hear this from Joe. Guys, hear this from Joe. Joe, even when Randle was putting up good games, Joe was like, But you know what? I was slightly, because I was like, look, he could be playing up for a contract, which he still could be, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I said 25 games. People were jumping on him after 4 or 5 games. I'm like,
that's true.
25
People
to 30
were doing that.
As soon as I seen 25 to 30 games, I was like, all right, now I'm bought in with him.
All right, but here's the question. Here's the question, Joe. Are you a believer now?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Because I give him credit. The man has improved his game every year.
I don't know about that.
Every year.
He declined a little bit
and he stopped that spinnery that we hated so much last year. It's just to me he needs to clean up his turnovers, because he has like low offensive awareness still. And if the shooting get consistent, man, I wouldn't be surprised, man. If
to give him credit though,
something I wouldn't be surprised at all.
He's going to be shooting over 4.
One at a time, guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you guys think he can keep up shooting at least over like anywhere between 38 and 40% for the rest of the year? From three. Or do you think it's going to decline a little bit?
He could, because I think with Randle, like, how many games have you seen this year where he overshot from 3 if he didn't have the touch? You know what I mean? For the game, like that game, he put up 44. He was just white hot. So it's like, all right, do whatever the hell you want. And he
came against the Magic early. He dropped like 2 or 3 threes, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, he's going to go for 40 again. He started. It kind of declined the rest of the game because just the team wasn't playing well. But I don't know, would it continue? I think for us to be successful, he has to continue hitting from 3, because you're looking at he's our best 3. Who would ever thought this time last year that you'd say Julius Randle in 2021 would be our best 3-point shooter?
I want to see the second half schedule. That's all I want to see.
Hold up, guys. Let me get to the rest of the interview real quick. Not rest of it, but the other parts I want to go through. And we can talk about.
They added a game to our schedule, by the way. They just announced March 4th. We're playing the Pistons at MSG.
All right, good.
That's a good start.
7:30.
Well, the Pistons look good, but let me get to the rest of the interview before you guys cook, man. So I'm gonna get to the part where he talks about IQ. I'm gonna also add that in with the part he talks about Derrick Rose.
Knicks fans, Knicks Twitter, they're looking for some hope.
Absolutely.
They're looking for some hope.
JJ Reddick loves the Knicks, by the way.
I told you he wants to be there. He wants to be there.
Who everybody from New York is obsessed with.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about him, but then also I wanted to touch briefly just on D Rose and what you've learned from him so far, because he's another guy who, to JJ's point,
I'm gonna speed this up a little bit.
He has perspective. He's seen all sides of the league, and so he's coming in like with you, with a bunch of younger guys and sort of helping teach them a little bit.
Yeah, man. So the thing about Quick, that I really like about Quick is he stays the same. Good game, bad game. He doesn't change, and what I mean by that is dude works his butt off. Like he'll get shots up after the game. He'll be early to the gym. He'll be late. Like dude works extremely hard. And I don't care who you are as a player, man. You got that type of attitude, mindset. You have a long career. So he does that, and I really like that about Quick. It's just his mindset and approach to the game of basketball. As far as D Rose, man, what I really like about Derrick is first off, he's an amazing teammate, like a great teammate. Extremely unselfish for how he plays the game of basketball. Obviously, he's comfortable now being back with Thibs and stuff like that. But Derrick's like an extremely person, like who holds himself accountable for everything that he does out there on the court. And he always, like, still to this day, man, he still wants to learn and get better. Like, he still works his butt off, still wants to get better. And, I mean, that's a great person to like, really look up to, in a sense, because, you know, you've been an MVP, you've been through so much in your career, you know, the highs and lows, and to still come in with a fresh, renewed mindset of wanting to lead and get better every day is like, especially, you know, everything that he's been through is pretty cool. So I'm learning a lot from Derek, honestly.
What was your thought process the first time? Maybe it was training camp, maybe it was a preseason game, a real game, I don't know. But what was your thought process the first time you saw Emmanuel Quickley shoot a 17-foot push shot floater?
Yeah, I still kill him. I still, to this day, I still kill. Like, it's just so, I don't know if it's Tony Parker, like, it's just so unorthodox, man. Because it's like, he'll have a wide open mid-range jump shot, and he's not taking it. He's going to shoot a floater from 20 feet. Or he's going to have, like, he's a great three-point shooter. He's going to pump fake. He's going to get to his floater. And I'm like, bro, if you just don't shoot the damn ball, like, what are you doing? It's his shot, man. He makes at an extremely high rate. You know, it's something that he's extremely comfortable with, comfortable doing. And it's a tough cover, man. Like, you know, for a guard of his size, especially, he gets people on their back and he gets in the lane and he shoots that floater, and it's cash. So I can't even hate on him, man. Like, he does it at a good rate, does a good job.
So just real quick, so I mean, we could talk about the Quickie thing, but on the Derrick Rose thing, you know, just outside of just the game on the court, you know, it seems as if he was giving him praise. You know, talked about him being a selfless, unselfish player, selfless guy on the court. The guy, you know, would sit there and talk with you. He's trying to get better at the game. And some people said, oh, he's going to bring back all the guys he had from the Bulls and that stuff. But having a guy like Derrick Rose, like, how important is it for this Knicks team to possibly re-sign this guy next year? To have those so-called leaders that are going to be able to instill, because we're going to be drafting some guys, man. And if you make a so-called trade, even if you get a so-called Bill or Levine, whatever, a guy like Derrick Rose is going to be uber important to having his team. So how important is re-signing a Derrick Rose to this team next year? And first and foremost, I apologize. Chris B, salute, man. My guy Jay Boogie, salute, man. Tone Wu, salute, man. We in the building tonight, man. Salute to Jason as well too, man. But Jay Boogie, man, everybody put in the chat, man, that you, and Chick George, salute to Chick George as well too, man. Everybody put in the chat, if you can. JJP, salute too. If you can, for Jay Boogie, because I told Jay Boogie that he needs to have his own show. The guy is infectious, man. This guy has charisma, and I'm there to support you each and every day, bro. Your personality. Everybody put pressure on Jay Boogie to get his own show, whether it's YouTube, whatever it may be. Put in the chat and say, every time you see Jay Boogie, always ask Jay Boogie when you're gonna push out your show. So
and what's important is that he makes good points too. It's not like he's just out here saying all these infectious things and he's not saying anything. Makes good points. You got good points. See, Jay Boogie, it's not just me trying to hype you up on some corny ish, bro. You got good points, man. You gotta. I'm not saying go to every show and do that, but from KFTV to MBK to Mayonnaise and Nick Sablar, everybody knows your name, bro. It's time that you have your own thing. You still, of course, obviously go to every show still, but once a day, once every other day, 1 to 2 minutes, you got to give us a speech, man. So suit to my guy Jay Boogie, man. And Jay Boogie, now Jay Boogie's gonna disappear from the chat. Now Jay Boogie keeps doing this. He'll be in the chat heavy, and he'll disappear. Wherever Jay Boogie is, put the battery in his back to have his own show, bro, because we all got to see it, man. Suit to Jay Boogie. But how do you guys feel about that Derrick Rose point? And about us resigning next year?
I take Derrick Rose back next year. I always had the thing when we traded for him that they were going to re-sign him for another cheap 1-year deal. Like, you could get him, what you're giving Peyton, you could get Derrick Rose. And keep him with Quickley. If you have to have Quickley come off the bench for another year with Rose, it'll work wonders with him. Having maybe a year and a half with Rose, kind of like the way, I'm not saying Rose is CP3 or anything, but kind of that way where you had a combo guard in Shea and do the same thing, and now you see him balling out after a year with CP3. I think a year and a half with Rose could do wonders for Quickley.
As long as Thibs is here, he'll be here.
Yeah.
See, and one thing I like
that extra stuff, man. He's like, look, it is what it is. As long as but I mean, it's not. It doesn't feel out of place. His presence doesn't feel out of place by any means. You know what I mean? So
One thing that I wanted to point out too, I don't know if you guys noticed last game that like pass that Derrick Rose tried to send to Obi where he was open towards the lane, and yeah, he threw it a little bit too far, but he said, go for it, because Obi like slowed down, and I like that because it's like, yo, just he's instructing the young cats. It's like that's what you want, man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's unfortunate that like I feel like the injuries kind of sapped that. I think it sapped some of his happiness from the game, but I'm happy to see him he seems better situated, right? He looks
happier than he has in a while.
It's like a resolve about him. Like it's like he's seen the highs and the lows, and he understands he perceives a game on a higher level. Like he knows that this game could it could be his time any day. Yeah, I mean, because that Chicago thing was just it was sad to watch. I was a Derrick Rose fan. I'm not a Bulls fan, but it was like you felt for him. Like when he was, and you saw him and then when he heard he got traded, even though it's like, okay, you got traded because you're no longer, and he was crying like, it's like, and it didn't feel like, a simp or a beta, like when some of these emotional dudes, it's like, you could feel it. Like, it's like,
Well, because in Chicago, he was home. Like he's from Chicago.
Yeah, he only left to go to Memphis. So he really never, and he only left for what, 6 to 8 months. So he never left home. So, actually coming to New York was like growing up. He never left home. He was in a place of security.
And I think this time around, I think the first time he was here, he might have wanted to be in New York, but he was traded out of nowhere. This time he chose to come here, so he wanted to be here. And what I liked about Rose, the day he was traded here, he was on the phone with Obi, and he was on the phone with Quickly, and he had dinner with them and told them, I'm going to be here for you guys, and if you guys need anything or want to talk basketball or life, you call me. And that's one thing that I like, that he's coming in as a mentor this time, knowing that he's coming off the bench. He's coming here to help the team win, but he's coming here to develop these guys. Last time he come here, I think he come here more or less to revitalize his career after the injury, but it didn't really work out. This time he knows he's a vet. His prime is gone. Now he wants to be here and help, more or less be like a player's coach. And I think the more guys you like Taj is like that, Randle's starting to turn into that. The more guys you have like that can help you win and also help your young guys, the better you're off for the locker room. Because this year's locker room looks like it's a brotherhood with all these guys. You see when Randle dropped that 44 game, all the guys were around him trying to get him on for MVP. It looks like they're all friends. And that a lot of times don't really happen in locker rooms. It's just guys put together. But these guys look like they're there for each other. And it's great to see, because we haven't seen that in a New York Knicks team in I don't know how long. You rarely see it, and I think it's going to be a good thing moving forward. Like even new guys coming in, and it's going to be they're trying to build a culture where you have guys like Julius Randle going to be trying to be an all-star. If he's an all-star guy, they're talking, what's the Knicks night? Oh, the Knicks are changing. The Knicks' culture is getting better, and that's what they're doing, bringing these guys in, and with Thibs and everything. And I think just we're in the best place we've ever been. We have $60 million in projected 50 to 60 in cap, and we have picks, and we have a culture being built. And I think Rose, even though Taj probably won't get too many minutes when Mitch is back, but Taj is there, Rose is there, Randle. We're in a very good spot, and I think Rose just even made us better.
Right. Let me shout out Nick G. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. He says, shout out to the chat. D Rose is critical to the future. I agree. This is why. And salute to Will Beggs, by the way, man. Michael Jones, Illmatics. Salute, man. Salute. Cynic. Salute, man. I apologize for Eugene Stanton, my guy, man. Salute. Apologize for missing you guys as we go along tonight. This is why I'm not so gung-ho on making these so-called big trades, because again, the personality that you bring in, obviously you make a huge trade. Now, I think Zach LaVine would fit perfectly with the Knicks, but a guy like Bradley Beal, he knows one way. You know what I'm saying? So he may bring some, I don't say vitriol. He may bring some dissent. He might bring some discord with the team, because he only knows one way. Like, will he sacrifice his game to make sure that it fits in Tom Thibodeau's offense? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be very careful as some of these guys that we want to just bring onto the team, because it's like, oh, they produce here. But it's like, it'll be one thing. Look, if the Wizards were a winning team and we want to bring him here, and they somehow want to trade him for some stupid reason, it's like, okay. But a guy like him is like, I'm not sure, man, because I saw how he was acting when they were losing a few games ago. I mean, it's still losing. That guy was, he was taking off plays and he was in the timeout berating his teammates. It's like, dogs, that's not the way to
why
go.
break things up
Bro.
when things are working?
Oh, Tone Wolf. I thought that.
It has to be Westbrook, man. It has to be Westbrook. There's no other explanation for it.
See? Yo, bro, that's what happens when you don't humble yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? See, D Rose, he humbled himself. Like, you know what I mean? That's the reason why he came back with a different game. Like, you know what I mean? Compared to how he did when, like, you know what I mean? How he first started out. But he humbled himself and he realized, like, hey, you know what? I got to turn things down a notch and let me humble myself and get, like, you know what I'm saying, get into the flow and get everybody else better. Like, you know what I mean? That's just
Damian
from
Lillard,
day one.
Lillard humbled him a couple of times too.
Oh, this guy.
But
that's true. But then hold up. See, hold on. Because I've seen a lot of people humble Dame Lillard, Mr. Dame Time.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but coming to the team, like coming to the team. Hold on.
Tio, you're not slick. I know why you mentioned Dame Lillard, but go ahead. Go ahead, the city.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like coming to the team, coming to the Knicks, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? He said, hey, listen, man, like, you know, I got my best dude. I got Tom Thibodeau here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got my best guy. Let me humble myself and show and prove, like, you know what I'm saying? And let these young guys know, like, this is the way you supposed to rock in a Tom Thibodeau system. This is the best thing. I think this is one of the best things that's happened, you know what I'm saying, for us to the Knicks is getting a guy like D Rose in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because not only is he an extension of the coach, like, you know what I'm saying, but he's also a preacher of his own stuff, of what he built, what he went through. Like, you know what I'm saying? So these young guys, you know, you already know, man, they followed him, whatever throughout his career and stuff like that. So who else better to listen to than Tom Thibodeau and D Rose when you're actually on the floor and playing, knowing the success that they've had in the past.
It's pedigree, man. Pedigree.
Yeah, and the thing about D Rose is that he's a representation of Thibs' best coaching years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I mean, those years, those beautiful years where they kind of got down, but they were one of the threats to LeBron. I remember those Chicago Bull playoff games, man. Those were fun to watch, man. But let's get to the rest of the interview. Oh, this is the last part. I'm gonna just play it through a little bit where he talks about a little bit more IQ, and then he talks about IQ, and then he talks about the All-Star team. And I'm gonna bring up the IQ point for a reason. But
did you have a sense from?
Nope, sorry.
From your Kentucky crew that this was going to happen, because it seems
let's speed up a little bit.
Counterintuitive in a way that a guard from Kentucky would be sort of this slept on coming in, especially a first round pick. But yet, you know, there's been a lot of good rookies this year, so it's not that he doesn't have competition, but like he really has sort of come on the scene and established himself very early.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it, man, because he played really well in Kentucky, like especially last year, SEC Player of the Year, all that. Like, dude was really good. So I understand why, you know, for one, people were surprised how he went to 25, honestly. You know, so he was a really good player. I was impressed with him at Kentucky. You know, obviously, I'm going to show Kentucky guys love regardless, you know, how we roll. But I was a little bit surprised. And I didn't really know much about him, honestly, even though he went to Kentucky. But like I said, I was more impressed with and surprised by his work ethic, man. He works really hard.
It pleases me to know that you guys give him endless shit about his float game. It really does. Because if I was his teammate, before we let you go,
get the All-Star part.
We've touched on it a little bit earlier, but with all you've been through in your career, what would it mean to you to make the All-Star game this year?
Man, it would mean a lot. You know, like you said, with everything I've been through, the stages of my career, and just for me, just to persevere, stay with it. You know, a lot of people, you know how this league is, man. Like, you can be here a couple of years and you can be right out of it. And people will forget about you, and you know that'll be it.
Jamal McGlure.
Stay with it. Keep improving, getting better every year. nobody expects people to make a jump and get better in year 7. Like nobody expects that. So for me, like I said, just stay with it, keep getting better, and I just want to keep improving. I truly love the game of basketball, so I just want to keep improving. And for me to, get that recognition, to achieve, that type of success would mean a lot. I really appreciate it. I don't think it'd be a better place to do it. And then, like I said, like we talked about it already, but just to be in New York, being, Knicks fans, they want, some type of success. They want their team to win. They want, a lot to cheer for. So for it to be here, will mean a lot for sure.
Well, just so you know, I bought a time.
Yeah, so that's basically about it. But, a few things. One thing is a quickly thing, and I want to talk about the front office because the fact that we hit so well on a play like that, I'm not saying we haven't hit, obviously KP. I still even think Trier is a talented player. I don't know what the hell is up with that guy. But the simple fact that we drafted a guy that literally is making noise, and it's almost just like he could easily be considered the steal of the draft, man, quickly. And we probably haven't had that for years. I know Mitch is produced as a second rounder. Even I won't say KP was a steal. I mean, he fell in our laps. But how much does a quickly draft pick? How much confidence does that give you in the front office that we're gonna draft some really good players next year, even if we're not in the so-called the heart of the lottery? That 1 to 5 spot. How much is it?
No,
how much?
We getting sucked. Stop talking like that.
You said what?
Stop. We getting sucked. Stop talking like that.
Look! Don't hurt my heart, bro. Don't do that. I've already.
Hey, man, speak it into existence. We getting sucked next year.
I've already come to terms with. I don't want my heart to be broke. I already looked at. I'm looking. I watch this game.
Gmo, all it takes is for a KP injury and a Luka Doncic ankle sprain.
Okay,
that's all it takes.
All right, it's not gonna happen.
Yo, let me get that voodoo ready, baby.
Look! I grew up knowing that Santa Claus.
Dallas locker room. You need to put a banana peel, do them slip. KP, you don't got to worry about because he's going to get hurt anyway.
Okay, all right. Great.
That's how true it is. That's how true it is. See, that's how true it is.
I don't care. I grew up in an apartment building. I was like, how the hell can Santa Claus come down the chimney? We don't have a chimney. I don't believe anymore. It's fine. I've come to terms with it. Jalen Suggs, probably the. He's not. It's okay. He's not coming to the Knicks. It's okay. Jalen, whatever team you go to, man, I'm gonna support you.
We already talked about it. Like I'm looking.
I don't care. I don't want to have my hopes up anymore. I don't believe. I don't care, Jalen. I don't care. Don't hurt my heart anymore, bro. Don't do this. I don't care. Leave me alone. You haunt me. Every good game you have, you haunt me. I have to watch your stupid games. I have to scout your stupid games. And
what he had last night?
Leave me alone. Yeah, he played against
he played.
Like
he played St. Mary's or something like that last night.
Yeah, St. Mary's.
It was faking him in the first half.
And that's why it kills me. I'm like the Knicks decide to start winning the year before possibly the best draft in 10 years to take us out of that.
What if they did some crazy plan?
I watched Mobley the other night and I almost cried. I said, you have to be the year that you could have had. Again, I like RJ. What I'm saying, if you could take that third year, RJ, and take that third pick and put in this draft. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. I'm going crazy now. Let me get back. Does this?
Sorry, Jared Butler.
Guys, I can't. I don't want to hurt you more. How much does the IQ pick? Damn it, man. Oh, my gosh. I watched Kuminga too. All right. I'm going crazy. How much does the IQ pick give you confidence in the Knicks being able to make some good picks, even if we pick late lottery? Because you got a lot of good players. Some people call them role players. We still got a lot of players who could turn out to be really, really good. You know what I'm saying? I have the Samu, the Moses Moody's, the Kisperts. A lot of good players are still left. Freaking even Trey Mans. You got a bunch
Butler.
Of Jared Butler from Baylor.
I like him.
And I'm going to talk about an underrated guy that I like too that no one's probably thought of. But how much confidence does an IQ pick give you? And add that with the OB pick. If you have any reservations about the OB pick, tie that into how your perspective, how that shapes, your perspective on the front office. How does these two picks kind of shape that?
I'm going to say 0 because they drafted OB at 8, 9.
0 confidence. Okay, so you're not an OB fan. All right.
No.
Wait, hold up.
You know,
I believe they're doing a good job. I think they're doing a good job because Quigley's the steal of the draft. That's point blank. Period. He's the steal of the draft. But the OB pick, you can see that the talent is there, man. There's been times I've seen Obi throw a pass and the dude's not even looking for the pass because Obi has that type of IQ. So it's little things like that. I think they just take him out for defensive deficiencies. You're gonna start to see when Obi starts picking up the defense, his offense is gonna come along naturally.
And his feet has been getting faster too.
His feet has shown some improvement. Still
I
not
think
great on
Obi's
defense.
bad on defense.
No, he's not. He's not as bad as I saw in college. Like in college, I was like, "Holy crap!" He had that
game,
on,
that move that House pulled against him in that Houston game showed me all I needed to see.
But he did move his feet well against was it Cleveland?
I don't know. That move.
Him try to lay up on the right, and he blocked it. Like he timed it. And it wasn't a help side. He was in front of the guy.
Yeah, he'll be a good help defender, but 1-on-1, forget about it.
It was 1-on-1. No, that was 1-on-1. It wasn't help side. It was 1-on-1.
Like I said, not that. The way House moved, blew past him, and I'm good. You're not gonna change my mind on that.
Yeah, but I want to say on Obi, if Randle keeps balling out and they're okay, Randle's going to be our guy. Do you think they could try and move Obi with picks to move up? You put say
weird. You're not getting that top 5, bro. Unless this. That 5, someone in that outside that 5 has a monster tournament, and Jalen Green doesn't impress those teams as much as he's like, as much as he, tournament.
They're happy with him now. They like his improvement since that first game.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. Someone has a monster, because it happens all the time. Someone has a monster tournament that was like on the fringe of someplace, and they move up. Right,
I can't see it. I can't see it in this draft. That draft is going to.
Where was RJ before he went to Australia? I know you got hurt.
This is different.
We need to draft a point guard for sure.
No, we do, but it happens every year. The tournament elevates someone's standing.
Somebody shines, yeah.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna say in this one you're not gonna get that because they've had Ignite for 6 months. They've been basically a year. So those two guys on that team, they're not moving out of the top 5. And then you have Cade, Suggs, and Mobley. You're not changing this top 5 this year. So it's gonna be impossible.
That fifth. I agree with you. Mobley, Suggs, Cade,
5 guys.
Kuminga. Jalen Green, again, he's been coming on the past few games, but again, it's not
going to take him out of the top 5.
Kobe, like how people were saying. People were calling this guy Kobe. No one's calling him Kobe anymore these past few games, even if he looks good for the rest of the remainder of the games they got.
I told you, Kendall Gill. He's Kendall Gill. Kendall Gill played for almost 18 years in the league?
He did, but Kendall Gill was not Kobe.
Yeah, that's all right, but that's still 18 a game. 18, that's 18 a game.
Right, but again, someone might come in the tournament and give. I'm not talking about where it should. I'm just saying perception.
Yeah.
Bro, Danny Avdija, and again, it's a different year. Danny Avdija was slated to go in every mock draft. I saw it fourth. He went 9th. I'm just saying things can change. You don't have. I'm just saying it could change.
I think this one is solidified though. I'm gonna say because they've been talking about this one for too long.
All right, we'll see.
But they do that every draft,
if there was a tournament, Obi would have been the number 1 pick if there was a tournament. The way he was balling in college.
At Drayton, yeah, Obi. If he was international, Obi is getting number 1. I don't care what no one says. If he was a European player coming over from, he would have been hyped up to the max, and he probably would have went number 1. So,
and I'd be laughing at that team that would have took him number 1.
So yeah, I don't disagree with you because I wasn't an Obi fan at the draft, but we got him. So hey, I support him until he's not here. But
I was, and then Randle started balling out, and I'm like, maybe that wasn't a great pick because we have other needs.
I still think Obi was a Leon Rose pick, man.
But what if they try to move Obi to the 3, like try to develop him?
He had that athleticism and all that, Legion. You had to take him at 8, bro. You had to.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. He was best available.
You pick who you want because that's what I'm saying, right? People say you gotta pick here and there based on who. If I succeed with a player that I picked, and then he's doing better than the guy I was supposed to pick, I look like a genius. I look like a god. You pick because you know why? If you pick a guy that you think everybody thinks that you should pick, and that guy fails, no one's gonna sit there and give you that reprieve. You're like, nah, you know what? The media said he should have picked him. You know what I'm saying? When the Houston Texans picked Mario Williams over a damn running back. What is this guy's name from the freaking
Reggie Bush?
Reggie Bush. You know what I'm saying? People were like, oh, okay. Maybe somebody was right on Reggie Bush. He ain't that type of guy because Reggie Bush only give you home runs, hitting off the tackle, run outside. Mario Williams was a beast defensive end for some years. So people look at that Mario, the Houston Texans like, okay, they got it right. They did it quietly because they didn't want to look wrong. But you're gonna get your years as a GM when you make your pick. You live and die with your pick. Don't go with someone else's pick. That's why I wanted Ja Morant. I know Zion is coming on now, but I still think Ja Morant is gonna have a better career than Zion.
See, yo, G,
So
I
do
got
I.
a question.
Oh no, man, that is Zion. If he can
And
stay
then,
healthy,
Zion's doing this in the past few games. Ja Morant, outside that injury, has been doing it for he's looked like that guy since he got drafted. Those Grizzlies, I know it was a one-game playoff. That Grizzly team is
but
not.
you can't take away the dominance of Zion's game, though.
What dominance?
That is a generational thing. When the last time
You're
see
talking
somebody do that?
about you're talking about flat. Okay,
Come on, straight do
you're
that.
talking about flashing. Have the Pelicans stiffed? I know it's 1 year or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Or
Pelicans
2
have
years,
all the
right?
talent. Where are they?
That's what I'm saying. Where's this dominance by
But
the
they was
Pelicans?
winning, so they
Told you, young
was
teams
on
don't win in the
a little
NBA.
streak before they lost.
A little
was
streak
winning.
versus the Grizzlies were in a one-game playoff with the Blazers with a young team. Like Jaren Jackson just came back from injury. Before Desmond Bain got there, they had Dylan Brooks, right? You're talking about a whole bunch of
Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark.
I disagree, bro. Zion's a Ninja Turtle. That dude's all over the place. That
Nah,
dude.
Yeah, he
Zion
can't stay healthy.
Get out the way, bro.
He
Get out the
can't.
way.
Ja
Even
Morant
if
get
he
out the way
can't stay
too.
healthy, he's still a generational talent.
Don't forget your super chat.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it right now. Yo, Gail Barry, man. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. Salute to you, bro. Salute to Gail Barry, man. We got you two watching here too, man. We got Anthony D. Yeah. I wanted Ja Morant too, man. And by the way, we got Chuck in here too. Chuck looking like a narc in this picture. If everybody could just see this guy, doesn't he look like somebody trying to sell you drugs to set you up? Like he's trying to, you know what I mean? Like, salute to Chuck, man. That's my guy, man. I think he might got work tonight, man. But salute to Chuck, man.
Yo,
He look like he's standing on corners with Tim's on.
Right?
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to set you up. Like
he looked like he's selling something. He's standing at the
Yeah,
corner.
he looks like a narc. He looks like an undercover cop. Like, he's like, all right, I'm not gonna, bro. I know you're a cop. I saw I know I have a family in the suburbs. I've seen you before, bro. I'm not buying from you, but suits are Chuck.
You notice that the NYC undercover cops always wear the Yankee fitters backwards.
Yes,
that's how you know.
Yes.
Yo, why do? Yeah, that's the thing too. Why do they even do that?
Yo, I feel bad. All right, let's not kill Chuck. I feel bad now. I'm only joking, Chuck. Because now everybody got good jokes, man. I feel bad, man. Suit to Chuck, man. That's my guy. He's gonna come in here mimicking me the next time he's in there, like he did last time, man. Screw you, Chuck, man. But let's get back to some questions, man. So we're definitely gonna talk about the draft, man.
Yeah, man. I just want to ask you something. So if you look right, and we have both our picks, like the Mavs pick and the Knicks pick, are like mid-first, late lottery. Do you think then, in the offseason, if Zach LaVine wants out, do you think they'll move them 2 picks to get somebody in? Because I just don't think – I know we need a point guard. I just don't see Thibs wanting a rookie point guard, especially one that's not going to be a top 5 pick.
Well,
But at what point does it stop being what Thibs wants and what the front office thinks is best for the team?
Whoa, that's the whole point, though. They have to be in a core. They have to be in one accord, bro. Like if you have,
they all got to be on the same page.
That's why I think the Obi pick is weird because I think Obi was a Leon Rose pick because of Obi's age and all that stuff, and they trying to have this.
Wasn't there rumors in the beginning of the season that the Knicks were looking to move Julius Randle? Wasn't that one of the hot rumors?
Yeah.
I think that might have had to play with it too.
But those are
nobody
rumors,
expected Randle to go in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Which makes me think their rumors was with Randle's interview. They asked him about the head coaching search. So if they're asking Randle about the head coaching search, then why would they move him if they're asking him if they don't plan for him to be here?
True, but remember. This front office does not talk. Everybody was trying to come
I haven't said nothing.
rumors.
Leon Rose hasn't had an interview since. I haven't seen Leon Rose on TV since the night of the lottery.
They
Draft
don't
lottery.
talk, bro. They do not talk. But Suit to Chris
Right,
Johnson.
the mob boss, he got to stay behind
it's the
the
mob.
scenes.
Salute to Heck Breezo, salute to Shoquan, man. I apologize for missing you guys. And the Public Enemy, salute. That's my guy, man. But I agree. I think a lot of people just making up rumors because they needed clicks on their, their social media pages. So I'm like, yo, I remember me and was it Arrow of Die Hard Knicks podcast? He brought up that night about the Jazz possibly looking at Julius Randle. Like he just brought up as a suggestion. The next day, I forgot who put it up, but it was on Twitter. Oh, the Jazz are possibly looking at Julius Randle. I'm like, wait, what? And I told him or he told me. I'm like, wow. I said, wow, Arrow, don't just keep your mouth shut.
Yo, imagine if we would have made that trade and then Julius Randle would have been playing like he's playing now over at the Jazz. We would have looked like idiots.
Would look like it. So again,
no, because a lot of us would be happy because we'd be losing. And
we'd be getting a higher pick.
Yeah, everybody be celebrating.
Suits to my guy, O-Head, man. Suits him for the $5 super chat. He says, a floor general like Ja is harder to get than a power forward. Zion, don't believe the hype. I think Zion is a talented player, but Ja Morant, I think, is just a special player, man. And ability is the best.
Yo, Zion don't gotta try to get dirty. He does it like effortlessly.
Who?
Yo, they both generational.
Zion, he does that shit with
Let's not even try.
Ja Morant does it effortless. Are you kidding?
Let's not even try to compare the two, like for real.
Like that.
We don't know yet. We gotta see.
I think they're just two different type of players, and you're just trying to dismiss one talent for the other one.
Whoa. Tia, why do you always do this to me?
They're
like
both
Zion.
superstar talents.
Hold on. I like Zion.
But you're trying to say that Ja Morant is just flat out better. I think that's more of an opinion than it is a fact.
No. In my eyes, I like because what I've seen the Ja Morant types, like the ones who've been heralded as like the next it guys, right? The Strohmonster wasn't heralded as the next it, but these explosive power forwards. And granted, Ja Morant I think has better feet than a lot of power forwards that come in the game. But what I saw from Ja Morant, what he did with that Murray State team,
Ja Morant's a better player because he does more with less.
Thank you. That Murray State team.
Yeah, but they got good talent on their team too. Don't do that.
No,
he's got good talent on their team.
Look at his team now and look at
your generation.
They had Valanciunas. They had Brooks on their squad. Brooks is good. And Jackson.
Yo, he plays with Brandon Ingram.
You know what I'm saying? They had talent on their team. It's not like he went to a team.
You got Brandon Ingram. You got Brandon Ingram. You still got a solid Steven Adams.
Yes, Bledsoe on that team.
Now shooting 38%. I thought he was actually doing.
I ain't trying to hear that.
Injury.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
defensive player. You got.
At the end of the day, we wanted Zion, right?
Exactly.
Let me just ask this question, right?
Go back to MVP.
I want a job. I want a job too.
A lot of people wanted, whoever they wanted, but at the end of the day, they both are generational talents. Like, you know what I'm saying? They play different positions, but they both are generational talents. They both are gonna be great. It does not matter which one. It does not matter which one you have, though. Like, you understand?
No, it does matter because on our team we need a point guard, so he would have filled in that spot that we.
You know what he would have done to the basketball team?
We need everything on this team.
One at a time, guys. One at a time. Let's see you finish.
Hold on. Let me just say this, right? Everybody says we needed a point guard, right? And everybody wanted Halliburton, right? I can't even say everybody. I just want to say a lot of people wanted Halliburton, right? Now, I don't know the numbers because I didn't go and look at them. But at the end of the day, whose shooting percentages are better, Halliburton or Quickly?
Similar, I think. I think Halliburton's might be a little bit better.
Look that up.
So at the end of the day, if they are similar, right? If they are similar, at the end of the day, just because we didn't get Halliburton and we got Quickly doesn't mean that we made the wrong move. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
But that's more of an issue with
his game is
picking Obi.
Halliburton and Quickly, the only thing that they really have in common, if you think about it, I mean, they have good floater games, and 3-point shots. Other than that, Halliburton does not. He's not aggressive getting into the heart of the defense. His free throw draw rate is like 7%. And he's a way better defender than Quickly. So you could have had Halliburton playing, say if you want to move RJ to the 3, put Halliburton at the so-called 2, have your point guard, and then have Quickly come off the bench as that super combo guard. So you could have had to play. It's not. I don't.
But this is the thing, though. We got what we got, and this is why, bro. And I said it many times. You already know. this is why I don't get into the shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? I deal with what we got, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's just having a friendly conversation over Ja of Ja and Zion, right? I don't think it's
right.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Really, I just think we're just talking about Ja and Zion. But I want to ask you guys this. I want to move on because I've heard people call Tom Thibodeau a bad coach, right? And I'm
That's bogus
now, right? And I want to ask you guys a question on this because I was looking up one thing, right? And I want to do a series where, or at least a few videos where I point out things that I think that Tom Thibodeau has done that people don't really pay attention to. And hold on, I want to show you guys something so you guys won't say I don't have the stats and stuff. But one of the things, and outside of defense, I want you guys, if you guys all can, provide me with something that you've seen from Tom Thibodeau, something discernible that you could point to and say, yo, that's a legit improvement by Tom Thibodeau, because I'm kind of tired of Tom Thibodeau doesn't play this guy, he doesn't play this guy, and so he's not good. And I think it's absolute BS. Now, one thing, obviously, Julius Randle's game. I looked at Julius Randle's game. I can't freaking zoom in because my computer sucks. But one thing with Julius Randle's game is that his post-up numbers have improved drastically. I apologize. Not drastically, but definitely improved. But another thing regarding his team is that our pick and roll play, like the pick and roll ball handler, has improved immensely. Last year, the Knicks ranked. We ranked in the. I'm freaking blind even with my glasses. We ranked second to last in regards to our pick and roll ball handlers, right? And this year we're like in the 17th or ranked 17th. We're in the 45th percentile. Last year we were in the third percentile, right? You can see the game differently. RJ Barrett, his pick and roll numbers have improved drastically. Last year, he was ranked in the 22nd percentile. This year, he's in the 38th percentile, right? Last year, he averaged 66.68 points per possession in the pick and roll. This year, 0.83 points in the pick and roll possession. Elfrid Payne's numbers improved. Mayor Quickly was a good pick and roll point guard, or decent last year in college, but even his pick and roll numbers. He's ranking right now. Mayor Quickly right now is ranking in the freaking 88th percentile for rookie, regards to pick and roll sets, man. I mean, when people talk about Tom Thibodeau, they talk about, the offense is boring. It's like, dogs, you don't have the talent, but he is showing discernible differences, right? Tell me, every guard in this team, they do the same thing in the pick and roll, right? Use a pick and roll and then trap the defender on the hip and then pause before somebody kills me, but rise the defender to the pause. Rise the defender to the basket, right? To give the floater, throw the alley-oop. You know what I mean? So that's my contribution to at least giving Tom Thibodeau some credit regarding our offense, regarding improvements on the team. If you guys have any improvements that you can point out, discernible improvements outside of defense.
Yeah, the Knicks are playing basketball. That's the improvement.
Short and sweet. All right.
Yeah, simple and plain. Last year was just so bad you can't really tell, because it was just poor play. So
honestly, I feel like most of the offensive improvements, I attest them to Kenny Payne and Bryant, to be honest. Because I think defensively, I think that it's Woody and Thibs who really bring that stuff out. But I think offensively, I think it's been Kenny Payne and Johnny Bryant that have been helping them improve.
And see, I didn't really get into the offensive numbers or whatever, but you can tell, like, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to a coach that you legit, like, you know what I'm saying, want to play for or whatever, you can tell that these guys right now, they want to play for Thibs. I mean, yes, we got a couple of extras than what we had last year, except for a few people or whatever. Now, with that being in the mix, like, coaching is coaching, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when you got a guy that you respect and that you feel like, hey, this guy can take me somewhere, then you're going to handle your business. You're going to do whatever it is that you need to do to, to get out there and show improvement. And also, it depends on the players. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I say it depends on the players, I mean, it depends on their work ethic. Like, you know what I'm saying? How they gonna follow suit? How are they gonna listen? Like, how how are they gonna take the constructive criticism or whatever the case might be? Because you already know Thibs is gonna give guys constructive criticism. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just
talking to is discipline, man. Like, again, this is what I complain about with Fizz, though. There was no blueprint to what he necessarily wanted to run. Now, granted, he did try things early on, but again, he couldn't teach it, and he didn't discipline guys. Remember, eat what you kill and all that other crap. Like, I'll take you out for if it's for mental mistakes, I want to take you out. But then it's like the only person who was being taken out was Frank. Consistently, if he made a mistake, Frank got taken out. But then Randle and all these other guys, Knox would make it's like it was inconsistent. So I think that's definitely discipline is a major issue. Let me get to my guy Chuck. Man, Chuck, you getting to work?
Yeah. I wanted to address something. Let me ask a question.
Oh Lord.
If I call Obi a bus, right? There's going to be two responses. One is going to be it's too early, and another one is going to be he's not afforded the playing time that others are getting, being that he's playing behind Randle. There might be other excuses, or other reasons, excuse me. So when you say someone is the steal of the draft, you got to take in context the same thought pattern. There's other players.
If you produce when you in the
Can
game,
I finish? Can I finish?
Let him finish, City. Let him finish.
Let me finish. Now, Quickly is getting more opportunity than a lot of rookies. So that's for one. So it's too early. So if it's too early to call someone a bust, it's also too early to call someone the steal of the draft. So you can't have it both ways.
Says
right?
who?
So fairness. What do you mean?
Fairness. Okay.
Yeah, fairness. All right. So Obi's a bust.
Nah, bro.
Obi's a bust.
You perform,
Obi's a bust.
That's it.
Obi's a bust.
You perform. That's it.
That is not it.
You go by what you see. You go by what you see, brother.
One at a time, guys.
Hold up. If you go by what you see and other players are not getting that opportunity, then how can you judge it? They're not getting that opportunity.
Okay,
because a steal of a draft, you could only hold on. Let me address them. A steal of a draft, you could address that season when they got drafted. A bust can take time before you call somebody a bust. That's the difference.
No.
Yes.
No, it don't have to take time. It don't have to.
Why don't it?
So how you gonna?
Says you?
No, but oh my God. Oh boy.
I'm just saying though, like who made all these rules up?
Get them ratings up, Chuck.
It's logic. It's if you use
That's
your
not
brain.
logic, bro.
It is
That's
logic.
not logic, bro.
Oh my!
You could call somebody
God,
the steal of the draft.
Oh my God!
In the same year, yeah.
You can't.
This
bro.
dude gets double teamed. He got picked 25th, and he already gets double teamed.
It has so what?
Halliburton don't get no double team. Like, come on, bro. Let's just call the spade the spade. You just like to be right. That's it. It's all right, brother. I get it.
No. It has nothing to do with being right. It's about being. It's about being fair. It's about being fair. Now, because somebody's being double teamed, that makes them the steal of the draft. Because somebody scored.
That's not the only reason. That's a reason.
No, but it's It's not a reason. It's not a reason. It's ridiculous.
It is a reason for me. It's a rule for me. That's a reason for me. That's my opinion.
So why did
you interrupted? All right, you interrupted my opinion to give your opinion.
Can I ask you a question?
No, because you're trying to make it seem like your opinion is right.
No, I'm trying to.
I'll challenge you right now. Hold on, guys. Let me just challenge Chuck right now. But Chuck, literally before they played
the game, so stupid. Who is that?
No, don't do that. That's my guy. Hold on.
Yeah, bro, relax. It's not that serious.
Before before the season started, you said that Quickly had an 80% bust rate, and then you said
potential.
It doesn't, but bust is already potential. Pause before anybody kills me. Bust already implies it implies potential regardless. Like If I draft Knox in the first round at 8, right, or where he was drafted 10th to 8, whatever, right, and he fails like he's doing now, you call him a bust. But if Knox was an undrafted player, obviously because of where I picked him, it's going to be implied already that he's not a bust. He's an undrafted. He's a guy you signed off the street. It doesn't matter, whatever, right? But you still gave that before you saw a game because if Quickly came out, put it like this, like I said on Twitter, right, to you, if Quickly came into the league, right, and he was Michael Jordan, but he had like a DUI that made him drop, or it was like a Dan Marino thing, right? Say you're smoking weed, whatever, and he dropped precipitously because of people like, he smokes weed, whatever, blah, blah. But he was Michael Jordan on the court. Like if he did not smoke weed, he would have been taking number 1, number 2, number 3, right? If that's the case, Chuck, why do you still assess it as such that like before you even see him play that guy's a bust? Because you don't sit there and wait for this guy to show you anything. It's like, he's a bust. But you didn't wait to show you that. Quickly could have been that easily, right? But you don't give him the ability to show you that. You were calling him a bust before the season started.
Okay. And I explained that to you. What I said was, being that I felt they could have had him at 33 and I wanted 3 picks instead of 2, I was mad that they didn't get 3 guys and they took 2. And I also feel like they could have had him at 33. So,
right. So
that led me to.
But that doesn't make him a bust though, because if he's Michael Jordan, and because whatever he felt, I'm just trying to make up.
No. Yeah, but I'm explaining to you. I said it out of anger because I wanted them to take 3 people. And I wait a minute. And I also said numerous times it's damn near impossible to be a bust at number 25. It's hard and you can't
I
bust.
did not see you take back the Quickly thing, man. I didn't see you take back. So
no, you can be a bust.
If you took me back, okay. I didn't see you because every time on Twitter, you're on the same Twitter thread, by the way. Every time somebody brings it up, I hardly saw. I've never seen you take back that point about. I've never seen you say that you did it in anger. So it's like you kept explaining the bus part of pause. You kept explaining the whole bus context. You've never explained the whole thing about I said it in anger because they took 2 guys instead of 3. And that still doesn't necessarily make Quickly a bust because if he's productive, it has nothing to do with like that. That's an issue about the Knicks. That has to do about him being a bust. You say a person's a bust if their individual performance is not good. Not if their individual performance is good, but the team could have had 2 or 3 other guys along with that guy.
Okay, I already said a few times verbally that he's not a bust. It's hard. You can't bust at 25. I said that out of anger.
There's an overall pause. We can just use the word, but it's fine.
Yeah.
For the night, all right. Lord,
so, all right, yeah. So just drop the bust, the Quickly being a bust thing. Nobody's a bust at 25. No, 25 and up. There's no bust. Period. So I said that out of anger. So y'all can stop labeling that a bust. Now, back to the Obi thing. You can't say it's too soon for one and not too soon for the other. It makes no sense.
Okay, put it like this, Chuck.
It's not because it's my opinion.
Just phrase it. Quickly looks like he can be the steal of the draft. Just like you can say Obi looks to possibly be a bust for the Knicks. Is that fair enough?
That sounds fair.
That's a different argument, yeah.
No, not even, bro. Not even.
No. Because
all right, yo, G, can I say something?
Can
I say something? I look at it like this, right? When you make it to the NBA, bro, when you make it to the NBA and you have to produce, it does not matter, okay? It does not matter what slot you get picked in because we've seen guys get picked at number 1, 2, 3, 4, and did not produce the way they were supposed to do. And then we've seen guys get picked at 17, 18, 20, 30, whatever, and produce more than the guys that got picked at 1, 2, and 3. So any number that you get picked at, yes, you can be a bust, bro, because people expect you to produce. And if you do not produce the way you're supposed to, yes, it does not matter what number you go at. Yes, you're a bust. It's just plain and simple.
All right.
Like, look at Kawhi.
expectations
Look
change,
at Kawhi,
bro.
right?
I think expectations change on where you pick. Like, if
No,
you
but what number was Kawhi?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing with that take.
if you're undrafted, you're
25.
not really expected to do much. You're on guaranteed contract for
Exactly.
the most part,
This
right? But
is what I'm saying.
if you're a first rounder, like this is if Kevin Knox was drafted, or if he was not even drafted, say he was drafted as a last pick in the second round, people wouldn't have as much. There wouldn't be as much of a division, regardless of how people look at him. You'd be like, okay, yeah, he's drafted the second round. I mean, he's not really. You know what I mean? Versus even look at how Mitch is being looked at. And granted, I know people are pissed with Mitch, but when you look at it, a lot of people probably call him, we're getting a lot for a second rounder. You're actually getting a lot for a second rounder. So again, where you're drafted, because if that was the case,
it does matter.
Everybody just wait. They're like, why would I draft Cade Cunningham first? Because I don't have an expectation of Cade Cunningham to do. I'm just drafting the second round. It doesn't matter. And everybody should think, say, oh, yeah, I'm a draft. It doesn't know. Where you're drafted is based on expectations. It just is what it is. The draft is it's a lottery, obviously, but the lottery, you're trying to get to the best position to get the guy that you want before somebody else gets him. So
that's what I mean. This is what I'm saying. Based on where you're drafted, it's your expectations, right? Like I said.
But you said
that it all matters. The only thing that boils down to it is what you do. Is what you do when you put in your work ethic when you get into the league, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's also about
That's not true, because Kevin Knox right now, Randle said that Kevin Knox works real hard, and you're still not seeing the results.
And you're still not seeing it. He's been working real hard for the past 3 years, and it's again a talent.
You're just not seeing the results on a consistent basis. Let's just say that.
But bro, if
the results at all, he's not playing.
If they put me on the Knicks, I'm working hard every day, and I know I'm gonna get cut. It doesn't. Sometimes it don't matter. It's about your talent. If you're not that talented, again, it's okay to say you drafted guys who did not live up to expectations. We had literally two bad regimes. These guys are trying to clean up for us to try to salvage Kevin Knox. So these guys, some of these guys just aren't good. You know what I'm saying? But let me get to the drafting. I don't know. My bad. I don't know why my dude left, man. Freaking Joe left, man. I want to talk about the draft. So I think I found a new draft guy that people might like a lot, man. Maybe I like a lot, but he's a guy we might get in the second round. Solid player, man. Go. What is Chuck? Chuck his head seems to be hurting. Go ahead. What did you have to say, Chuck?
No, you can't name one player drafted over 25 that was a bust. There's no bust at that.
Right. The expectation, they fall off for the most part.
Yeah. Most of them are G leaguers. Once
so
you in
that's
the high
the question. Why did you get drafted?
Damn, Joel Embiid had 50.
Because you have picks.
Yeah, 57.
Most of the time you get drafted on potential. Like, all right, in football you got 7 rounds, right? After round 4, it's all potential. Right? A lot of them guys ain't gonna make the team, but they still get drafted.
Just a risk.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Are you a for sure thing, or are you like you draft guys on potential? Even with the first pick, and how many times have we seen guys get drafted on the first pick that labeled to be a bust? This is what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, but we're not talking about the first pick. We're talking about, because we're not even talking about a first pick. We're talking about quickly a 25th pick.
Well, wait, are you saying he's a bust?
No, I said he can't be a bust at 25 from where he was picked at. You don't bust at that higher draft. You don't bust. Nobody 25 and up is a bust. Nobody. I don't care what they do. You could go straight to the G League. You can't be labeled a bust when you pick that high. That's the point.
And for certain people talking about Knox, I'm sorry, guys. He just may not be talented, man. We could talk about, bro, if you're in the NBA and your motor's not high, man.
Yo, he's on the team, man. You got to talk about him.
Beat out your competition. You're not motivated. You're not motivated to put your own imprint on the league. Because this is why I said, man, if Knox is, bro, if you're that talented, now granted, his rookie year was okay, but efficiencies weren't that great. He didn't really show himself to be like, oh, crap, he's taking the league by storm. And even the spot minutes he had last year, he had 18 minutes a year last year, right? He regressed badly. He just may not be it. We can talk about how much I've seen guys on other teams that killed it or did well, progressed with terrible regimes, terrible coaches around them. So I'm a little bit done making excuses for Knox, but let me move on to the draft, man. Freaking my guy Joe left, man, because I want to bring what. So again, obviously the Knicks we're tangling. we're probably going to be out the nice, beautiful, sexy part of the draft, that 1 to 5. We're going to have to deal with the names of guys like Zaire Williams and Moses Moody, Kispert. But there was one guy I seen in the second round, man. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. And it's a guy named Brandon Norman from Purdue. Did you hear about him, Vincent?
Nope.
I haven't heard about him. I saw them on TV the other day, so I need to pay attention. So Brandon Newman. I apologize. Redshirt freshman, 6'5", 190 pounds. Dude, shooting stats: 43.1% from twos, 43.2% from threes, 85.7% from the line. The dude can move well off the ball. His usage rate is like 15%. Something. 6'5", 190. So he'd be coming in as a guard, but even just have a replacement for a Burks, is he like Naismith?
No, I think he moved. Well, first of all, Naismith usage rate was like 30%, which is absurd. You don't get that. You're not going to get that in the league unless you're that type of player. And obviously Naismith ain't that. He moves way better off the ball. He could defend too. He ranks up there with the steals. He's athletic enough. He's not slow by any means, but he moves really well off the ball. He has some slashing abilities. He can shoot the mid range a little bit. So just some scouting points. Someone got me in the background. You can just mute me. They say his 3-point numbers, both in efficiency and volume, are sparkling, yet neither convey the versatility of his jump shot. Newman is a good relocate. Someone has me in the background, guys. You can just mute me, man. I hear myself. Yo. That was you, Darley. All right. It says 3-point. Let me see. Newman is a good relocation shooter, has flash ability to hoist off movement, quickly send his feet and screen his body toward the rim to launch. At 6'5" and just 19 years old, it's a highly impressive skill display. What makes Newman a useful prospect offensively is that he hinted at attacking off the catch, owning some vigor to scoop past defenders if he run up the line, and has shown some ambidextrous finishing craft. Hell out my burst and strength. Newman might have the athletic profile to be an effective closeout attacker, though I like to see a larger sample to effectively project him excelling in those scenarios. Again, he's averaging only 9.1 points with really low usage. He's actually shooting, 96.2% from the free throw line, 41.5% from three off of 3.7 attempts. Let me see if I can show some samples. But guys, give me some draft prospects that you like, some underrated ones. I know my dude Stevie Fox was talking about he's talking about the guy, was it David Johnson from Louisville, the point guard. He also talked about we both like James Bouknight from UConn. He also talked about Sandro Mamu, the dude from Seton Hall. I think he's gonna be a second rounder. And you guys like some guys that that I missed out on, or some guys that might be underrated?
I think we've been watching the Ignite games lately, right? And I think Isaiah Todd might be a steal.
The center dude, the big center dude.
Yes, 6'11" kid. You know what I'm saying? He's only 20 years old, so
runs the floor well.
He shows he has some flashes. You know what I'm saying? Like that might be a project. Like nobody even has him as a prospect, and I don't know why. Like he's not on anybody's mock draft, and I'm like, yo, what is going on here? What am I watching that, or what am I missing that other people, are not seeing? Because I see a player, especially a development player. Like, yeah, he's in the G League, but like I said, if you're taking him in a late first, second round pick, you might as well take a flyer on him more than anything.
Yeah, I think he saw too. Remember the dude that we were talking about that played with LiAngelo Ball, the center? I think he played Ignite and he killed Ignite. Do you remember? We were watching it. I think you were there. So he's from UCLA.
The
one who got locked up with LiAngelo Ball. But I thought that guy had some upside. So I'm gonna show a few clips. Anybody else got any prospects? I know you talk. Was it you talking about Champagne or Champagne? Whatever his name is.
No, that was somebody else, but I know they were talking about St. John's. He didn't show me nothing. I watched him the other day. He didn't show me anything the other day. So,
What about you, Chuck? Do you have any prospects so we could all put you on a spot? So if they suck, we can say Chuck put it out there.
That's it.
You're not getting.
And I gotta go to work, but I'm gonna talk to that guy later on, the one that don't make sense, and see if I could
TL will argue, bro. Like, what is your lasting point? So TL, because TL don't forget, bro. TL still kills me over me not agreeing with him on game.
Bro, I never met somebody who takes so many L's and don't know that they take L's on a daily basis, bro.
I will never take a L of you.
You living
are
in
disgusting.
La La Land.
You are disgusting.
Yo,
Total lunacy.
Total lunacy. The name calling, like, it's not. It's total for.
No, that's your name. TL. Total lunacy. Total lunacy, bro.
What was the point y'all were arguing on again?
Is that Chuck right and everybody's wrong? That's it.
No, I was explaining that if it's too early to judge one, it's too early to judge the other, or vice versa.
No, it's not.
All right, so and then he jumped in and said, "No, it's not." Which
it kind of works both ways. You could say somebody is shading towards being a bust, someone's shading. But if you say somebody, because again, you got to wait a year. You might have to wait a few years to say whether somebody's a legit bust or not, especially if that so-called bust.
That's my point. That's my point. It takes time before you could call somebody a bust. It'll take time before you could call somebody a steal. That happened within the same year. That's the point I'm trying to make. But hold up. Okay, it goes over dudes like a carry-on, bro.
But hold up, Michael Carter-Williams and Tariq Evans look like so-called steals their first year, but then they end up not being those good of players, right? So it's like you got to be fair. On one end, you can say whether somebody's going to bust. On the other end, you have to make it fair because again, if time is you got to give time to giving somebody praise to being that type of player. Versus you also got to give them time to say, all right, but this person's a bust. So Chuck does take a lot of L.
Michael Carter-Williams wasn't really a good shooter and quickly is, and that's a big difference today. If you want to be specific,
Michael Carter-Williams a good.
If you want to be specific,
the draft though. He won Rookie of the Year. People will call him still the draft, and even Sixers fans are like, "Yo, guys, chill out. He's not that good," but people still call him the pick of the draft. Like they'll call him, "Yo, this guy's a steal" because he flashed that 1 year with the 76ers. But it turned out he wasn't that good. So again, you do have to be fair. I'll give it to Chuck, man. You do have to be fair in that regards, man. But yeah, this is my guy. Again, unfortunately, my internet is, I don't know why it's shaky like this with this, but I'll tell you guys, I'll put the link in the chat. Guys, check out this. Brandon Newman, Purdue.
Brandon Newman. Okay. And who is the kid you were telling me about from Seton Hall?
Sandro Mama. Just say Sandro Mama.
Oh, yeah. Big. He looks like a Russian dude with the beard, right?
Yeah. I think he's like.
Yeah, he's from New York, but he looked Russian with a big.
Yeah.
Russian name, I think.
Yeah.
I think I seen that kid. I think I seen little bits of that kid.
Did you have another prospect, underrated prospect? My dude, John Petty. John Petty is good. So when I was doing my homework on Carol Lewis last year, I did see John Petty. He's a 4-year starter. Shoots really well from three. Energy guy. Shoots bad from the line though. Oddly enough, he's an okay defender. So I was watching Moses Moody the other night. He hit a few threes right in front of Moses Moody's face, and then he kind of, I don't say he locked down, but he had some really good defensive plays against Moses Moody. So he is a prospect. He's just, I think, he might be one of those older. He's going to be there in the second round. He's a decent guy, but yeah, he might be camp fodder. He may be a combo guard you could build with. Now, people saying Jared Butler. Jared Butler could go anywhere from like 10.
Jared Butler's my guy. Jared Butler, to me, he'd be he can shoot, he can pass, and he plays good defense, and he'd be a Thibs type of point guard.
So if we get,
he's realistic. I'm not looking at the top 10 guys anymore. I think I'm past. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm watching them, but I'm not thinking unless something really slips up. I'm not really looking. I'm looking at like late lottery, mid first. That's where I'm at. And
so if you get 15, Joe, who are you taking at 15?
If I get 15, if he's still there, I'm getting Corey Kispert. And with the next pick, I'm getting Jared Butler. 2 guys that can shoot, and 2 guys that are shooting in the high 40s at a decent volume.
Yeah, that's a good look.
And the 2 positions of need. Corey Kisper's a 3, and Butler's obviously a point guard.
See, it's weird. They got a lot of guards in this league that they really like 6'4", 6'4" point. 6'5" could be point guard. If anything, could really be point guard nowadays. As long as you say, but Jared Butler just reminds me of like more of a shooting guard. Same thing with like Trey Mann. Same thing with who's
Well,
this
there's another guy who's a Dion Mitchell, and the two of them are kind of interchanging at point guard. One Butler's at the 1 and Mitchell's at the 2, but they kind of interchange.
Right.
But you got to remember, like you're playing with IQ, so you're gonna need a ball handling shooting guard anyway. So it probably works out there.
You draft Sharif Cooper, Hinton?
I like Sharif Cooper. Just he can't shoot. He can't shoot. He's too small. If you're small,
you guys say he shoots in the face.
He shoots with the side of his head. Like
I don't mind the height. People don't like his height. I don't mind the height if you could shoot, but if you're small and you can't shoot, then I'm not really interested. And his shooting numbers are not good. He can put up points. He's averaging like 9 and 20. Like the dude can pass, but it's just shooting I'm scared of.
I'm not taking it.
And by the way, someone said Suits are 19 comment and NY 84. Not that name, man. Robert Arroyo. It says Baylor plays zone all the time. Plays don't translate well playing man to D like Syracuse. Well, FSU plays a lot of zone too. Yeah. They live by zone. So they do have some players. I mean, Malik Beasley is not a good defender.
But they have us. Tankathon has us picking 13 and 16, and it has.
I still would trade for him though.
Sharif Cooper at 13. That's what I was taking.
I'm not taking Sharif Cooper, bro.
I'm not taking him either. I don't think the Thibs will want him either. I don't think Thibs will want him either. He's too small.
Joey Ayi from Gonzaga, he's all right. He's okay. He moves well off the ball. I think his shot may start to fall a little bit later. But they have such a great system at Gonzaga. It's like the only two discernible guys I want from Gonzaga will be Suggs and Kisper, because even a Drew Timme, that's not a college level center. Now he can shoot a little bit, but he got to really develop that shot for him to be like a serviceable. I can't even call him a center. I mean, he's a power forward in the league, bro. Like he just gets great. It's like Luke Garza. I know that's Joe's man, but Luke Garza is just a guy who just gets good position. But he's like a plopping, like just plop down.
We have Detroit's pick, which is probably going to be one of the top 3 picks in the second round. When we still had the Charlotte pick, I wouldn't have mind taking a flyer with the Charlotte pick on Luke Garza. But now I'm looking at the mocks, and they have Josh Christopher in the second round.
I don't think like kill me. I take a BJ Boston in the second round.
BJ Boston, they have mocked one of the.
Round.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to be a top 6, top 7 pick. Most mocks have him going between 25 and 30.
He could
I see him in 18 most mocks.
I think he's gonna be like 15 picks, something like that.
I don't know about 15, bro. Because you got.
What about Zaire Williams?
Don't forget about Cameron. Don't forget about Cameron.
I don't want BJ Boston. BJ Boston just reminds me. To me, it feels like it's going to be another Kevin Knox, another.
He's not Knox. See, I don't like what people say. He's not Knox, bro.
Everyone has been saying.
No, I'm not saying he's Knox. I'm not saying he's Knox, but I'm like, I don't want a project. No more project.
Okay, so like this, he's a project, but he's a different project from Knox. Like with Knox, is like you got to literally shock him with the spark plugs. BJ Boston's more like refining his game and giving him a role in the team, because on that UK team they have so many players and they all literally mostly do a lot. Isaiah Jackson, Terrence Clark, they kind of do some of the same thing. Now Terrence Clark got hurt, so it's a little bit more. It looks a little bit better. They don't have shooters on the team. They don't really have good coaching. Like I'm telling you, BJ Boston, like I have my qualms with him. But he's not Knox. I don't see a low motor guy. Like sometimes when he's shooting, he'll take himself out of the game, but it's more so, I got 4 other guys, maybe outside the center, 3 other guys who kind of all slash, and we all don't know really what to do. They lost Kenny Payne. They don't really have a good coach on that team, man. So again, I think
it's like Mintz on that team.
You said again, Hinton? And then you got
like Mintz on that team. The point guard.
No, I said the team was bad.
He's a senior.
Askew? Isn't it Askew on that team? Isn't he
Mintz. I know you're talking about Askew, but he wears number 2. I'm talking about the other guy, Mintz. I think he wears number 11, but he's like a 6'3" guard. But
gotcha. I gotta check that more. And people talk about the Tennessee guards. I don't want Keon Johnson. I don't want the Tennessee.
Nah, I ain't touching the Tennessee guards.
Springer looks nice to me. He's just super raw. He's gonna be a project.
Here's an interesting one. And,
he got the size, Springer. He has size. That's the only benefit.
I told you we got Cameron Thomas from LSU. That dude.
Cameron Thomas having a few bad games though, hasn't he? Has he been kind of like having a few throw up games, a little bit?
Yeah, but hey man, that dude is a walking bucket. You guaranteed to get 20. I don't know if he'll do that in the league, but in college, that dude shows up 20 points.
Hinton, would you do this? Would you do this, Hinton?
Both
Would
of
you
them.
take James Bouknight and then try to develop his facilitation game?
Yeah, I would do that. That's a project, but yeah, I would do that because he's 6'5".
Because he can give you a bucket.
Yeah, that's what the Knicks need. You need another bucket getter.
He's just a volume shooter, though. I don't like that. He's a little volume. But I mean,
but Levine's a volume shooter. If you're getting Levine, if you're getting Beal, if you're getting like all those guys are volume shooters. Like you're gonna have to, like you're gonna have to let these guys shoot some buckets.
Yo, I apologize. Salute to my guy, Jay Boogie. He keeps talking about this dude, Joe's Wisekamp from Iowa. I got to pay a little bit more attention to him. He says 66% field goal percentage, over 50% from 3-point percentage, over 50% athletic runs. The floor plays defense. I got to check. I got to pay more attention. When I was watching the game and said guards, I think guards had like 30 points. I think I was at the gym watching it. But I didn't pay attention to your boy Joe Wisekamp. I definitely got to pay attention to that. Thank you, Jay Boogie. But yeah, I think James Bouknight. If obviously we don't get a Suggs. If I had to take a point guard, just off talent alone, and that you have a guard who kind of fits the Thibodeau mode, just like these uber aggressive guards who can score off the dribble, on the dribble. I mean, he has to improve his 3-point shooting. James Bouknight is definitely a name, man. But you guys
point guard.
Yeah, point. If I can't
know if he's a point guard though. He's
not a point guard though.
He's not, but you could. But Thibs, I mean, for the most part, Thibs is not. I mean, he doesn't run necessarily with strict point guard. Now, Suggs is I think is a point guard who could score, right? But he's just such a talented player. I'm taking him regardless, right? But Thibs has always worked with combo guards. I mean, he's always trying to make a way to work with combo guards. And granted, we have quickly, but James Bouknight is,
Guillermo, if you were sitting at the number 1 pick, who are you taking, Cade or Suggs?
You're taking Cade. That's not like you have
it's
to.
Tight.
I don't even know, man.
Well,
Obi might be
marketing again. It's like Zion and John Moran. You have to marketing. Man. You're saying is the consensus number 1 pick is Cade, but basketball, I think Suggs might have a little bit of an edge. I just think Cade's size is a big thing with him.
Cade and Kuminga remind me of Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter, right? They have similar games, right? But Cade, I think, is a better shooter. His game is a little more developed. He plays off of defenders' missteps, right? Way better dribbling than Kuminga. But Kuminga has, I think, a better post-up game, more upside, stronger than Cade, especially when going to the basket. And his shot is not far off, right? And
he's more athletic too.
You guys can
I'll give you a choice. You either taking Grant Hill, you're taking Grant Hill, or you're taking a cross between. Like I said, Jason Tatum and Kawhi Leonard. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're taking Grant Hill, or you taking a cross between Kawhi Leonard and Jason Tatum. That's what you. That's what you
Kuminga's shot. I mean, he didn't shoot well yesterday. We're gonna talk about it real quick before we head out of it. But Kuminga's shot, the form looks good. Go look at how he's shooting in high school. Way better. Big improvements.
Yeah, it's eventually gonna go in. Pause. That shot is eventually going to go in consistently. So you're not going to be able to leave him open eventually.
I don't want to answer that, Joe. But if I had to, I don't know, man.
If you were Leon Rose and you're on the board 10 minutes, who you take between? Because to me, it's just too close.
It's too close, man. I watched Jalen Suggs, and he'll have games where he could just shoot from outside effortlessly. And then he could facilitate a drive. Now, one thing is that he's a little linear when he drives sometimes, kind of like he does like a bulldog kind of thing, where he just kind of keeps his head down and tries to beat his man to the basket. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But then you see the talent in Suggs. Like, if he had a Tom Thibodeau, he could turn him into a Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
He could be that type of guy. But then Cade is so poised that, if you put Cade with a Randle, and Cade didn't have to facilitate right now. I agree with my boy Stephen Fox. He's not
RJ.
Cade is not this transcendent talent. I don't think he is. But if you put around talented players and there's a system, and he doesn't have to be tasked with the point guard dudes like he is with OK State, who I'm sorry, they suck without him. They're terrible without him.
That's why I said you're getting the Detroit Grant Hill. You're not getting the Phoenix and Orlando Grant Hill. You're getting the Grant Hill that could handle the ball like a point guard.
The thing about him too is what is he 6'7", 6'8", so you can have him in the post a lot. I see him posted you don't see a point guard posted up that much like he does. He just has that
three guys who could do that. You have
And
RJ
you don't
cutting
have
in
to
from
put
a
him at the
Cade
point
pass.
guard.
Like
You can play. He can be like Ben Simmons. You can put him in 3. He can play 1 through 3, and he can guard 1 through 3, maybe 1 through 4.
And he closes games.
Name your top 5 now. Name your top 5, man. I'm sorry. Name your. Sorry, that's stupid. Name your top 5. I'm talking about in the order that you drafted.
All right, Cade, Suggs, Mobley, Green, Kuminga, Green. That's my 5. That's probably going to be the consensus top 5. Everybody else, I think, is a drop down from them.
Go ahead, man. I know he's going to say Kuminga first. Go ahead.
No, I'm taking Cade first. I'm gonna take Cade first because then I'm taking Kuminga second. Then I'm taking Mobley third. Then I'm taking Suggs fourth, and then I'm taking Green fifth.
So why? So hold on. Because you think you slick. You talk about Kuminga. You talk about Kuminga being a mix between Kawhi and Tatum.
Yeah,
and you're not taking him over Cade
because he's more finished. He's more finished product. But it's gonna take some time for Kuminga. You know, and I don't want to bother with that. I don't want to deal with that. I want to win. And I know I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win right now with Cade. Like I know I'm gonna win.
Even though the ceiling. So you got You said Kuminga.
But I said he's Grant Hill. I said he's Grant Hill
versus Kawhi and Tatum.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm getting Detroit Grant Hill. I'm not getting.
I I got my first felines from the Grant Hill. Yeah, Grant Hill was that dude when he was healthy. People don't remember Grant Hill was that guy, but
you talk about Grant Hill. I know that Grant Hill.
Kawhi.
Yeah, I'm because he closes games too. He's a closer and everything. You know, like I'm getting all that, and he's 6'7". You know, like I can play any. He's a high IQ basketball player, even though Kuminga is too. Like I'm still gonna take Cade number 1 right now.
Yeah,
right.
I think so too. Just that his height adds so much because his ability to defend in 3 or 4 different positions. And I think he has the ability to be like a Ben Simmons with a jump shot.
And look how big my backcourt is with him and RJ.
Yeah.
I'm not playing fair. And I still have to deal with I'm still dealing with Tatum and I'm still dealing with Brown. I still have that size. So you know, so why not go with the guy?
A Cade, RJ, Kispert, Randle, Mitch. Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, listen to that.
Yeah.
Like, and think about Kuminga. Like, he's still going to be 2 years off, even though he's going to get you buckets and he's still going to get stops.
But you take that up, the upside, man. Like, I don't. I feel
I know it.
Well, whatever.
Because we need a wing.
The guy they didn't pick would be better.
This sucks. I hate this draft, man. I really hate this draft. I hate this.
As I was telling you, Guillermo, was it Raw Hebrew?
Legion, we get Suggs, bro. We get Suggs.
Stop. We're not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Tio. Don't do that. Don't get.
I'm telling you, man. Them European dudes, they get hurt too much, man.
Don't do that. We ain't get. Don't hurt my heart like that. But let me ask you this before you leave, man. This is an interesting thing, right? Because again, point guard position is important, right? If we don't come out with a point guard next year, right? There's a guy that I was thinking about. And suits to Stephen Fox, man. Mobley, I think, is going to be a beast, too. I think there's a guy that he can easily go 2. He's an absolute beast. Monte Morris from the Denver Nuggets. This is a guy, he's a steady point guard, smart guy. He's not the most explosive, but he gets to the basket. He can shoot a little bit, too. And remember, the Denver Nuggets, I mean, he's a backup, Monte Morris, right? But he's playing right now because Gary Harris is hurt. And this is a guy right now who's giving you 10.8 points a game, 26 minutes. He shoots well from the 3. He's shooting 39.1% from 3, 3.2 attempts. But again, he's a backup guy. He's shooting okay from the foul. I know for some reason he's shooting worse. Last year, shot 84%. This year, shooting 70%, right? 3.3 assists. Solid player, man. Can give you some buckets. Good player. But they have guards, right? Obviously, Jamal Murray is their so-called point guard. Gary Harris has to come back. When Gary Harris comes back, obviously move Jamal Murray back to the 1. They also have RJ Hampton, who they drafted, right? And RJ Hampton has shined, right? Would you make a trade?
A free agency? Is he a free agent?
He signed a $27 million, I believe, 3-year deal recently. Let me look at his contract. so he's kind of taken up. But
Yeah,
I mean, $9 million a year. If you don't get a point guard, would that be a guy you guys be interested? I don't know if you guys watch enough. I watch a little bit of him. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. He's a steady guy. But again, he might be held back a little bit just by the team. He's not the most explosive, but he's a steady guy. So yeah, he's not going to become a restricted. He's not become an unrestricted free agent until 2024.
So kind of like
too much talent.
Beasley was quiet and went to Beasley was quiet and then he went to the Timberwolves and he broke out.
Nah, Beasley, you could see it with Beasley though. He was never quiet. Like you could see Beasley was like you could tell Beasley when he got off that team.
Remember, he got the injury that year, right? And then he kind of fell behind in the depth chart. But he was a guy that he flashed. But it's like then Will Barton, I believe, like Will Barton and all those other guys started showing offense. So I think that Joe's trying to say like he kind of like he wasn't really able to blossom like after the injury. It was just kind of like he faded away. Just but not that he didn't have a personality. Obviously, he goes to Timberwolves and starts best with Scottie Pippen's wife. But anyway, Monte Morris, is that a name? I don't know if you guys watch enough of him. Is that a guy you would consider?
Yeah, I like him. I just don't know if he's and at this point anything's better.
I ain't giving up a first, by the way. Go ahead.
Nah, man. How tall is he?
I think he's like 6'4". Monte Morris is.
I know I always ask that, but I just can't help it. I don't like small guards. Like he was the smallest I want to go. Pause.
Yeah,
he's 6'2". He looks 6'3" to me, but they say 6'2".
I'm good.
The only person I'm touching, like in free agency, the only person I may go after is Mike Conley because I want experience on this shit. I want to win.
I go Kyle Lowry for a stopgap for a year. But how many more stopgaps? This year has to be a draft where you have to come out with a point guard, future point guard, because how long have we been doing this stopgap nonsense for? It's been a while.
I'm not going to force myself to pick a point. I'm not going to force myself to pick a point guard in the position because, like I said, it all depends on where we draft it. Like if we drafting lower, I'm not reaching for no point guard.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we're in a position, say we end up with like the 11th pick and the 15th pick, I'm giving them I'll give the 11th, the 15th, next year's first, the Dallas first, and another future first to move up and try and get in that top 3. And get one of those.
I would. Yeah,
I'm giving up future picks because you bring one of them guys in, they're going to help you win now.
Yeah,
and it's on the cheap. You're not spending big money on them. So
I
think
no matter.
Go ahead.
I think no matter where we draft, we should draft a point guard. Even
so you might be forcing
wherever we may land.
No, but I think
this team needs a point guard. Like even what you said, like somebody that's a project or something.
Yeah, but make sure you don't reach for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like pick it. Like again, you pick the guy quickly. I'm pretty sure they have.
No. You draft accordingly. I'm not. Don't draft out of pocket. Yeah, I'm not saying
no more projects.
If somebody you feel like you want to take a chance on, then yeah, I agree with that. I think this should be a point guard though. That should be.
I disagree. I disagree a little bit. I feel like we should get a small forward. We should go for a 3 because I feel like that's the.
You could come out with both. There's a lot of wings in this draft. A lot of wings.
Because I feel like we have a big like open space in that position where nobody's really on our team is serviceable really in that position.
And that's why I think realistically you could come out with Corey Kispert and Jared Butler because there's a wing. You have 2 picks that the Mavs aren't going to be contending, so it's not going to. So the 2 picks are going to be like late lottery, mid first, and you could come out with Kispert and a point guard, so Jared Butler or one of them guys. You could come out with both.
You'll probably come out with a Moses Moody in this draft. If you're talking about 3D guys, you're probably going to come out with a Moses Moody. And by the way, Landers Nolly. I gotta watch Landers Nolly is who Stephen Fox is putting his money on. So I gotta watch more of him.
Where does he play, Stephen?
What school?
Yeah, I've never. Wow.
Yeah.
American. He plays at Memphis.
Oh, I've probably seen him there.
Memphis got that big center who I think is not a first rounder, but Landers Nolly. He's averaging 16. He's averaging. What the hell? Just give me the stats. ESPN sucks when it comes to stats. He's averaging. This year 40% from 3, 6.4 attempts. Damn. 13.8 points, 3.6 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.1 steals, shooting 42.1% from the field. Okay. I'll definitely check him out. I didn't like a guy you mentioned from Louisville. I wasn't impressed. The dude, David Johnson. David Johnson you mentioned, the point guard. I wasn't that impressed with him. And he also mentioned
Johnson of Louisville.
Blazers not gonna let go of Gary Trent. I don't think. I think he's a restricted free agent. I don't think they're gonna let him go because they need
that'll be a sign and trade.
Do they have the money to pay him?
Who they got? Oh, that's a good point.
They got the richest owner in the league, the second richest owner.
Yeah, but cap space.
He's a pick. Like they can go over the cap for him.
Oh, okay.
I got a good question. What player do you think gets disgruntled up in the next year or so?
I think Levine. I think Levine will get fed up.
Well, it'll be Levine and Beal.
Yeah.
And this is going to be an interesting. This is going to be an interesting offseason because there's not going to be a lot of free agents that that everybody's going to want. So that's why I said this is going to be interesting for the next 2 years. There's nobody really attractive that that's going to really be a free agent.
That's why you have to hit on the draft. No more project.
You cannot miss.
That's why we need to
draft perfectly. No, out of the 2 picks, if you want to trade up and get a guarantee guy that's going to be doesn't have to be superstar. I preferably superstar, but at least a solid role player that you're going to use. I don't want no knocks, no frying, no guys that are just going to come in and not produce in the first 2 or 3 years that you're going to have to wait. Because I think they might just keep signing 1-year deals until Booker comes available in 2023? Or is he 2024? Is he one of the 2024?
I think he's 2020.
Don't say Devin Booker's name.
Yeah, see, that's why.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Like next year, though, I'm looking for trades to help me get this done. So I got a couple of targets that I would like to talk. I got a couple of targets I would like to target in the offseason.
Which would you guys rather? Because to get Levine, you're probably going to have to give up the 2 picks, or at least one of the picks you have this year. Which would you rather? Draft 2 guys, or trade both picks and get Levine?
Depends
I
on
think
where
I'd rather. It depends on where I'm drafting.
Probably
I'm still.
Unless
I'm drafting.
we fall off the cliff and the Mavs fall off the cliff, it's probably going to be late lottery, mid first. So say you have like the 4th.
Porzingis is going to get hurt, man. It's going to happen.
You guys are evil, man. TL, you ain't work.
It's not evil, man. He's just an injury-prone player.
Not evil, man. Yo, don't even put that in the atmosphere, man. They're gonna lose.
No, he's just an injury-prone player. Let's call a spade a spade.
He is. But that's like I don't even want to think.
Let's see if they win that bet. You gotta speak it into existence, bro. You gotta speak it into existence. You gotta manifest these things, man.
Yo, TL, you ain't fair, man. That's you foul, bro. He said we gotta speak this into existence. But guys,
what if the 2 got hurt and the Mavs pick ended up getting us a top 3 pick?
I don't want to think about that. I've already come to terms that Suggs and Cade.
Legion to have a heart attack. Gmo have a heart attack.
The NBA, Adam Silver doesn't like us that much. He's a Knicks fan that don't like us that much.
If I don't want to think about it. We good. I've dreamed of so many combos, man. I don't want to think about it. It hurts.
That's why I keep talking about the second half schedule. Because we could be in trouble.
I will be doing more Mavericks games, by the way. But
the second half schedule, though,
guys, that's 100% too. We could lose a lot of games in the second half.
Yeah, because you're looking at the second half schedule. We have to play
Lakers.
With the top 5 teams in the East. We have to play them twice.
A lot of West teams.
You play 3 teams in the East twice and 2 teams in the every East team 3 times and every West team twice. So we have to play the Lakers twice, the Clippers again, the Nuggets again, Sixers twice more, Bucks twice more,
New Orleans, Memphis,
Nets twice more.
Yeah.
So
we're still the worst team in the division in terms of talent. So I'm not worried. Like I said, everybody's talking about this playoffs. I would like to make the playoffs. I would love to win, but I'm still going to be reserved on my hopes on this team because the schedule and, Randle, he has a problem with athletic forwards. So, that are his size. He's still an undersized, power forward in a way. But, I hope he makes the All-Star game, but I'm going to be reserved. I'm just going to sit back and watch this thing. I'm going to get mad when they lose, but I'm still going to be on reserve with this thing.
It's like when you win, it's a win-win situation, right?
Yeah.
You have experience, but if you lose or
Mavericks away,
the match lose either way, whether we win or lose, right? So again, I look at this season as is somewhat of, and look, if you have a good front office, those guys will make the right picks, man. That's it. If you have a good front office, look, Booker was not a number one pick. Kawhi was not number one. Again, you can come out with this draft. You can come out with this draft with the best player. I'm just saying,
two of the best players.
It's tough. I don't know how you'll do it.
Look, somebody's got to bless us because the Knicks went through hell for so long. So
I'm going to say this about this.
You're going to have to be blessed. So if you come out with 2 All-Stars, luckily, Peter won and Jalen.
One time in my life, the Knicks are the top
Suggs. That's all I want.
Right draft pick,
Suggs.
And it says the New York Knicks select Jalen Suggs. The New York Knicks select Evan Mobley. The New York Knicks select from the G League. It just once. I was right there. Yo, guys, you guys do not understand. When I was at the what's the name party at that, what is it, the Penny whatever thing where the Knicks hold some events on the second floor right next to them, when they were doing the draft lottery, it was at number 4. If I could tell you the emotion, because it came out the commercial break and they said number 4.
Oh, it was heartbroken.
Everybody was going crazy, throwing up everything, and literally
when we got
time to breathe.
What the Zion draft?
Yeah, that was foul.
Rocked.
You know what I hate? You remember back in the day, whenever the lottery happened, you got to see the numbers coming out. Now you don't know what's going on in the background, so you know some fishy stuff is going on.
Because it's rigged.
I don't care.
I know that.
I don't care. Allegedly, before I get in trouble.
I know it's rigged. How many times the Cavs and the Clippers had the number 1 pick?
The Pelicans get it.
Yeah,
to me, Anthony Davis league.
Here, Anthony Davis is going that they get Zion. Replace him.
So.
Susan, my guy, Joseph W. from London, man. Salute.
And it just so happened those were the 2 worst teams in revenue who got the top 2 picks.
Thank you.
And look at this year, the Timberwolves got the number 1 pick.
That was the crazy part.
They were up for sale.
And I think they're going to win it again.
The NBA, you're not slick. We get it. You're trying to save your league. And the Knicks, unfortunately, we're the most profitable team, so we never get to. We don't make a dent in regards to so-called NBA ratings. Even though I think that if we were doing good, the ratings would go up. But we're not. Us sucking doesn't hurt ratings per se or whatever.
Do you know what is scary too? If the Timberwolves pick is outside the top 3, it goes to Golden State.
Golden State.
So if they get the 4th pick, Golden State end up with Jason Green or somebody.
This is not fair, bro. Like
that's what I'm hoping they drop out of the 5. Like if they drop out, if the Timberwolves drop, I hope they drop the 6 because I'm gonna be real angry if they get one of the top 5 picks.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna be real angry.
That is just not fair, man. But yo, guys, about to get out of here, man. Suto, you guys, man. Joe, thanks for joining me, man. Darley, TL, Hinton, Chuck, who was there before too, man. I'll be covered. I believe I think the G League play tomorrow.
Westchester beat that night yesterday.
He did. Interesting game, by the way. But
yeah, I heard Iggy dropped 23. He's averaging.
Miles Powell's looking good. He dropped 30 the other night.
I'll take a fly on Powell coming up to the. They're gonna give it time because to take the G League that kid and then put him over some other guys, it might cause some discord in the locker room. So gonna chill, man. But yo, guys, all you guys, man. Thank you guys for joining me, man. I'll see you guys there. I'll be doing this Knicks Weekly throughout the week when we don't have a game, either on a Wednesday or Friday. Whenever we don't have a game, at least once a week. So keep in tune and update you guys and have some good topics like we had tonight.
A couple of days without a game.
Yeah, I know. Sunday,
so what am I gonna do now when the All-Star break comes in?
Watch
Salute, Gmo.
Salute, man. See you guys. Peace.